What's happening here that's not happening anyplace else?
I mean, the competitive level starts at 4 years old.
Classic rivalry.
Hall of Fame type coaches, great personalities.
All three schools, though, they changed the game of college football.
Florida State Seminole,
Miami Hurricanes,
Florida Gators.
You want to dominate your opponents and you want to get stoned, make sure that you roll up.
What's happening here?
It's the roll up, it's the vibes. Another beautiful day in the Sunshine State, and I'm kicking it with the illest. CJ, what it do, my guy?
Chilling, man. Feeling pretty good on this beautiful Wednesday. It was crazy weather yesterday up here. It was a lot of rain. Got it cool up in Tallahassee right now. But cool and sunny at that. So I like it. Being kind of weird with this weather. It's been hot, cold, hot again. But back with the cool weather after all that rain we got.
Yeah, I'm excited. We got a big show today. Weather's been everything. It's been it got cool. We talked about that last show, and then it got right back hot, bro. We right into the thick of South Florida weather. Big show today. A lot of spring football updates. We had a scrimmage. I know you guys been doing some scrimmaging and a lot of updates in Tallahassee. We're gonna have Storm Groove pull up, a friend of the show, hang out with us on some no cap shows throughout the fall. He's gonna give us some Miami updates. My man Larry Young had an emergency that popped up, so he can't be with us today. But we definitely got a Miami presence pulling up, and we also got my man De'cody Fagg. Man, De'cody, how's it going, my dude?
Going great. Feel good. Great to be here, man. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for hanging out with us, man. CJ's our resident Florida State guy on the show, so he gonna navigate everything, man. But super excited to have this conversation with you, dude.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, De'cody, man, this one was kind of special, man. But you being a fellow 850 guy yourself, being from Quincy, man. It's real dope to catch up with you and see what's going on, man. Just talk and chop it up about the old days.
Man, so many memories, man. I mean, don't know where to start. Childhood, high school, college, life after football. I mean, life just been great, man. Just been a blessing. And the old days, man, you sitting out here watching these kids play on the TVs today, that just kind of throws you back into your playing days. Some days you want to get out there, but your body know you can't get out there. It's still in your head. You see these guys, especially the way my guys came back and played strong this year, man. It just put something in my heart. Remember my days back at FSU.
No, that's real dope. I know it's a lot of memories that come with that. Let's take it back to the beginning, man. You being from Quincy. When did football become a love for you? And when did you realize, like, okay, I'm pretty good at this game right here?
It became a love for me at the age of 5. But I love basketball more than I love football. At the age of 5, I began playing football. My dad, man, he installed everything into my brothers and my cousins, my friends. My dad was one of those type of dads that I'm age 5 years old. My oldest brother is like 4 years older than me. My middle brother is 2 years older than me. And then we had plenty of cousins. My dad used to have us up 5 a.m. in the morning jogging around the block. He riding either on his bicycle or he riding in the truck beside us every morning during the summer, every weekend. My dad had us not just good, but great in basketball, football, baseball, and track. Um, and he stayed up on it. And I think me being the youngest, looking up to my older brothers and my older cousin, my brother, he played with Willie Simmons. Willie Simmons was his quarterback in high school, and my brother was Willie Simmons' go-to receiver. So I'm in middle school. I got a chance to see those guys play from little league, middle school, and high school, just play together. Even in my middle school days, my dad used to always pick me up from practice, and I go over to Shanks High School. And when I say my brother entire year there, I watched every single one of those practice till when I watched the games. I knew exactly what they were gonna run, the audibles, pretty much everything Shanks had something to do with. And the way to saw those guys clicking, that's what really motivated me into football. Football, I didn't know football was gonna be the sport for me until I got in high school. I always thought I was a basketball guy. But once I got into high school and I saw the numbers for football, the numbers for basketball, what's the best chances you're gonna make out of basketball, especially coming out of Quincy and not that tall. And when the offers started coming in, that just let me know right then and there where I was headed.
What was it like being the youngest of all those boys? And I know you had a lot of male cousins. Like, what was that like, and how did that help you, like, competitive wise in sports and whatnot?
I mean, it was tough. It was tough. They put it on me. Back then I used to have big T. They used to call me Rat T. I used to go crying. I used to go crying every time they do it. It was tough. It was real tough coming up being the youngest, and but it also helped me. They also helped me become tough and the man I am today, hanging out with those guys. Like I said, we played every sport. My uncle even taught us how to hunt. I knew how to shoot a gun at the age of 6. I mean, a rifle, shotgun, everything. That's what we did. We played sports and hunt. I'm from the country. I wasn't in the city limits. I was out there on the dirt road. So
Already.
we pretty much did it all. And I think that all that played a major role in the talent that I was blessed with.
And let's talk about Shanks for a minute because you kind of hit something where you talked about, seeing Willie Simmons play quarterback, real prolific as Shanks went on to sign to Clemson. Then, the head coach at FAMU, you got Dexter Jackson, former FSU safety, Super Bowl MVP. It's a lot of talented people that came through Quincy and Shanks specifically. So let's talk about that for a second. Seeing those guys coming up and like you said, that made you want to, pursue football and let you know exactly what you want to do in regards to, playing ball.
Oh yes, sir. That motivated me a lot. I mean, growing up seeing Dexter Jackson, a lot of the world got a chance to see him on defense. They don't know about the Dexter Jackson on offense. The quarterback for Saints that had 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yard passing. That's the Dexter Jackson I know. I mean, growing up seeing Dexter Jackson, another guy, Dewar Howard that played at FSU, Leroy Smith. Leroy and I, we knew each other ever since those country dirt road days. He grew up out there also, so Leroy was always around. I mean, always around. I think he was one of the main people that got me prepped for college because during my junior and senior year, he used to always come back and work out with us, train us. He used to go get us when we was in high school, and we in high school going against an elite college cornerback that's at FSU. I mean, he helped my game tremendously. Um, and then just Saints, man, it just was something about those Saints atmosphere, those games back then with the band. I mean, with I saw so much talent and so much come through there. I just knew I had to be in line to come up because you have to keep a pipeline going. And that's what we try to do here in Quincy. We try to keep a pipeline going for the next one, for the next one, for the next one, and for the next one. And growing up seeing those guys, man, it just put something in me from the time I was in elementary school to the time I got to high school. That was my main goal. When I got to high school, I didn't play no junior varsity. I went straight to varsity and filled my brother's shoes. My brother left in '99, um, spring of '99. I came in fall of '99, and Coach Andy Gay put me ninth grade freshman right in the slot position, same number as my brother, and playing with those guys. By the time I became a senior, the game was just so easy.
You starting as a freshman?
Yes, yes.
Man, you came in. What was that jump like going from Pop Warner football to varsity anywhere in Florida is serious football. So what was that jump like?
Um, it was a dream come true, really, because like I say, the year later, I was sitting down watching you guys practice. My 8th grade year in middle school, and me thinking during the spring I practiced with Saints JV, but by the time summer came around, the end of summer, coach moved me up to varsity, and it was a shocker. I actually scored a touchdown my very first game. My very first game, I scored a touchdown, and once you get that feeling, get in practice. Practice was tough for me as a freshman.
Walk
I
me through
mean,
that
it was
first
tough,
touchdown,
tough.
man.
I had a chance to line up beside Ronnie Thomas. He ended up going to Clemson and ended up coming to FAMU as a wide receiver. He was there with my brother. So his senior year was my freshman year, and he molded me through and got me into the right shoes and motivated me.
Walk me through that first touchdown. What was the play? What was it, home game, away game? Like what was the vibes like when you caught that first
It
touchdown?
was it was a home game, and it was against one of our in county rivals, Havana. We played
Mm-hmm.
against Havana,
Down the
and
north side, right?
yeah, Havana Northside, yes. And Rodell Thomas was the head coach at Havana at that time. He ended up being the head coach my sophomore, junior, and senior at Shanks, but he was coach of the other team. And it just was I think we was right on like the 20-yard line, and they just called the fade route to me. And I beat the man at the line of scrimmage and caught the fade and didn't know how to act after that.
Right,
Didn't know
especially
how to act
scoring as
after
a
that.
freshman.
Sir?
No, especially scoring as a freshman,
Oh
right?
yes. And that wasn't I actually had I think 5 touchdowns my freshman year.
Mm.
Yeah, so I ended up with 5 touchdowns my freshman year.
So you ball your freshman year, man. After that, I'm pretty sure you started getting those letters that started coming in, right? How was it when you got your first college letter?
I got my first college letter actually, um, I think it was the spring going into my sophomore year. Cause up until that time, I actually was getting recruited higher in basketball than football. Um, but once I got that first letter and we played North Florida Christian with Ernie Sims in the spring jamboree, and I put on the show. I mean, that game there, Ernie Sims was the #1 player in the nation. That's my best friend as of today. We still communicate as of today. Um, and he brought in like 20, 30 college coaches alone by himself to our game. It was at our hometown in Quincy. North Florida Christian came up. They just won the state championship the year before that. And when I walked out the locker room for warm up and saw like 30 college coaches on the sideline, I'm like, oh
Yeah,
we
yeah,
got to steal the show. And I
yeah.
stole the show. Ernest Sim, when we got to FSU, I let him. He wanted to watch the tape, so I gave him the tape to watch. And I haven't seen the tape back as of today.
Yeah, he probably burned it, bro.
I haven't seen the tape back because we won that game also. But that's what put me on after that game there. When I say by the time I started my junior year, I probably had about almost half of everybody in the nation that wanted me at that time. And then when I got to a senior, it was just ridiculous then.
How was it being that highly recruited and getting, all the college attention at that point in time? How was it for you? Especially
Um,
coming, like I said, all these coaches are coming to, small town Quincy. So how was that for you?
it was a shocker. I mean, it was a shocker, especially me not going to any camps. I had throughout my whole high school career, I didn't attend no Nike camps, no camps, and a lot of people were saying
Then you
that
act
probably
out.
would have boosted me up higher and everything. But I was like, how could I win? I went to FSU.
Right.
That's a major school, but they was just basically saying my rankings could have been higher if I would have attended some of those camps. But once that process came around, it was really
Is it working for
crazy.
you,
So you
CJ?
get, sir. Uh,
Yo, what's that, Silk?
No, sorry, man. Mine lagged out. Go ahead.
yeah, once it got to that there, it was just crazy. When you having coaches on campus at the same time, you get called out of office for a coach here, and then next thing you know, you hear your name being called on the intercom throughout the school to come to the office, and there's another coach there. it was it was stressful at some point in time, but it was a good experience. I enjoyed every bit of it. I mean, especially the visits. Able to miss school to go to college visits. That was a good experience. The battle between Florida, Georgia, and Florida State. That was a crazy battle there.
So those are your top schools?
Those are my top three.
Florida,
Yeah.
Georgia, and Florida State. So let's talk about that a little bit, that recruiting process, and give us some recruiting stories that went on within that.
Um, my very first visit was Georgia, University of Georgia Bulldogs. Mark Richt was the head coach. I mean, I went up there, had an amazing time. They showed me a great time. And what I always told people, the way I base my decision is, I look at the depth chart for just the wide receivers class. I look at the depth chart and I look at the classification, and I just sit there and see, okay, how long will it take me to get on the field, or how fast can I get on the field? And I saw myself fitting in good with Georgia. I mean, I loved it. I even committed to Georgia. I committed to Georgia. But one thing I told them was I want to take the rest of my visits. So once I left him up there, I committed to him, told him I wanted to take the rest of my visits. They was cool with it. So it was probably like 2 weeks or so later. Um, I had a visit with Florida. I mean, Florida. That was a good visit too. I mean,
Tell them about Gaines Vegas a little bit, bro. They don't believe me.
man, man, I didn't know. Hey, people think Tallahassee a party town, man. Gainesville's got something, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Gainesville got busy, huh?
I was even shocked about it. I'm like, oh, this how I go down to Gainesville?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
a little bit.
Gaines. That was, and people don't believe it, but that was my best visit. That was my best visit, and it would cause a little tension in the house because my dad bleed gone in and go. I mean, bleed
Who
him.
was your host on that Gator visit, man? Who was
Gavin
hosting you?
Dickey. Gavin Dickey. That
Gavin
was
Dickey,
Tallahassee,
baseball.
baby.
Yeah. Okay.
850.
yeah. Gavin Dickey was my host because I knew him from back home and
Yeah,
everything. And
Lincoln.
Gavin showed me a good time. I mean, he was a football player and baseball player, so
Yeah.
he had all the connects. I mean,
For
Gavin.
sure.
And man, Ron Zook was the head coach then.
Oh
How was Zook
yeah.
as a recruiter?
Huh?
How was Zook as a recruiter? People say Bron Zook was a real strong recruiter. How was he in your recruitment?
Um, he was good. He was good. I had him and Coach Woody. Coach Woody was a defensive back coach at that time, and Ron Zook, he was a good guy. I know a lot of people say some things about him, but to me, he didn't show me that. I don't know if I was just too young or what, but from what I saw and what I got out of him, he was a pretty good guy. I mean, he got kind of pissed off at me when I didn't sign with him, but other than that, I got a story to tell about that too. But other than that, Ron Zook was a real good guy. I actually committed to them too.
So every visit you went on, you committed, huh?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that University of Florida visit, man. I mean, I'm like, how can y'all have all these concerts in one weekend? And it's not like small people. The concerts I went to had T.I. T.I. was there. I'm like,
Yeah.
hold on, man, and we got VIP access up here by T.I. So yeah,
We
that's
still ain't get you though, man. That's crazy.
y'all
We got you
almost
VIP TI access, and you still went to Tallahassee.
hey,
What won out with Tallahassee? What got you to Florida State?
when Bobby Brown walked in my house.
I'm telling you, man. Talk about that home visit. Everybody sitting home visits with Bobby be pretty legendary.
He ain't tip
That
though,
was
man.
Florida State actually third time to my house. The first time it was Jeff Bowden and dang, what's my coach name? Tight end coach. It'll come to me after a while. That's my guy. John Lilly, Coach
Yeah,
Lilly.
Coach Lilly. Yeah.
Coach Lilly. Yeah. They came to my house. Um and but I gotta take it back because though when I said I ran into two coaches on campus at the same time, the first call I got that when I came out of the office, it was to meet Coach Woody from the University of Florida. So I went to the office and we walked on campus. We was actually walking in the middle of the campus, middle of the campus and through the courtyard. And then next thing you know, I get another call from the athletic director. He said, Coach Bobby Brown, Jeff Bowden, and Coach Lilly is down here in my office. You need to come see him. So what I had to do was walk Coach Woody to the back of the school. We had some portables in the back of school, and we had to actually
It
go
wasn't,
talk.
it wasn't safe for him, was it? It wasn't safe
we had
Ah,
we had that talking do our stuff back there and everything, just so we couldn't run it. So he didn't know what I was doing, but he thought we were just walking and talking. But I actually was trying to avoid running into Coach body and my stuff because I had no idea they was on campus.
The
And
mafia.
yeah, no idea they was on campus. And me and Coach Wood went back there and talked and everything, and I just sat down to the gym and I walking up, Coach Biden sitting down in chair and everything. He say, what's up, son? That's how he is. What's up, son? How you doing? I'm just sitting there looking because I haven't had my visit with them yet. They was my last visit, so we talked and everything. And a week later, he came by the house. My mom put on a show for him, had all kind of food there for him, and he fell in love with that home cooking. And it's just something about Coach Bowden. It seemed like when he talking to you and you looking at him in the eyes, and me growing up loving Florida State, seeing him as a kid, seemed like I just got hypnotized. And at the end of the conversation, throughout the whole conversation he was saying, I really didn't hear nothing. I was just focused on him. And at the end of the conversation, all I heard him say, "So you coming?" And all I said, "Yeah." That's it. I said, "Yeah." I
You
said,
committed to
"Yeah."
coach too,
So
huh?
yeah, it was crazy. Then I took the visit there. Ashley, Bean, Ernie Sims, and Kamadi took the visit the same day. I mean, the same visit, and all three of us were cool coming up through school and everything. We were close friends coming up through school, and we just went there, and all three of us came to a little hut and said, asked what we was gonna do. All of us agreed to go to FSU, so we made it official on that visit that we was going to TENN FSU, and that had the 850 lit up.
Right,
three
man.
lo-
So
three local guys, top guys, one parade All-American, earning #1 player in the nation on the Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, that really lit up 850 that year. There. All
talk about
three of
that
us.
for a second, because you just said something, and now we had interviewed Crow, and I didn't ask this question. I should have, being from Tallahassee. How was it in regards to like the hometown pressure, right? All three of you possibly had been a local kid that goes to the hometown school. How was it from a hometown perspective? Was it a lot of pressure? Just from it's a lot of people that from outside of FSU. You get FSU, more people know you. It could be a lot going on as far as people pulling you left and right and that type of deal. How was it being the hometown guy playing for FSU?
Um, at sometimes it was good. At sometimes it wasn't, because then you start having cousins that you never knew. I mean, cousins that you never knew. Your entourage just get bigger from all of a sudden. Sometimes you don't even know some of the people in your entourage. That plays a dangerous part in it. Luckily, my brothers and cousins and close friends from high school pretty much kept that from around me, because that was my entourage. I didn't too much really hang with people outside of family when I was at FSU. And that was one thing my teammate used to always say. One thing about Cody, his family gonna be there. I mean, they gonna be there every time no matter where I went, whether I went out to the mall, anything. Somebody close to us gonna be there, because they know how quick it is for someone to get in trouble, especially when they're in their hometown. It's quicker to get in trouble in your hometown than anyone else, because you think you got the freedom to do what you want to do, and certain people. But that's the quickest way for me to get in trouble. But I knew I had to go to FSU, and like you say, put on for your hometown. One thing about Quincy, you got to put on for Quincy, because we so small. It's a small town. Not too many people knows about Quincy. Dexter Jackson definitely put us on the map with the Super Bowl MVP, and you got to try to live up to that hype there. You can't be a bus coming from Quincy, and he don't set that standard. Willie Simmons don't set the standard. Um, but Abdul, Leroy, and even the other guys that went off to other schools, not just FSU. You gotta represent your hometown. Um, I kept a clean face when I was there. Never got in trouble with the law when I was there, and that just was a good blessing from the people I had around me. And I think that's one reason why I think I'm well respected as of today, here in Quincy, because of my reputation and how I carry myself, not just at FSU, throughout my entire career.
No doubt, man. Give me that Run Zook story. What happened when you told him you ain't coming to Florida? What happened?
He didn't find out until signing day.
You let my guy all the way to signing day? You just had him just chilling like that, thinking you was coming?
Yeah, he didn't find out till signing day, and
Rick, what about Rick the same way? Rick ain't found out the signing day as well.
no, 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 no. He found out, and that leads me all the way back before my Florida visit. With Georgia was right before I got ready. I said a week before I got ready to go on my Florida visit. Coach came down to Quincy, um, and pulled me out of class. I'm in the hallway talking to Coach, and Coach told me, "Cody, we only got two scholarships remaining." one for an offensive player, one for a defensive player. The one for offense is for you, but we need you to go and make this hard commitment and go and, sign this right now with us. And I like, Coach, y'all know I said I want to take the rest of my visits. And that's one thing I want to do. Take the rest of my visits is, explore my opportunities. This is my first I made it this far to get visits and do this here. I want to experience. I want to experience every little bit of it as I can. And they wasn't accepted in it. They say I had to do it, so I told them they have to do what they have to do. We made that decision right there in the hallway at my high school. So that would pretty much white Georgia out before I even took my visit to Florida. And Florida was my second to my last visit. I don't think a lot of people know I took a visit to Alabama A&M. Yeah, I
Okay.
went to Alabama A&M. And it was because I wanted to see the HBCU experience, even though I saw a little of it from FAMU when my brother signed with FAMU. But also my offensive coordinator that was at Shanks my junior year, he had just got the quarterback position, quarterback coach in the offensive coordinator position at Alabama A&M. So I took a visit up there, and yeah, HBCU know how to do it. They know how to do it.
What was that visit like for Alabama A&M when you got
That,
there?
that was a good visit there. I mean, the culture, everything. And when I went up there, it was actually homecoming, but it was basketball season. They was playing against they rival Alabama State the weekend I went up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that visit there was, I mean, that visit there was live. That was a good visit there, good experience. But the head coach, he already knew I wasn't coming there. He told me that when he met with me on that Sunday before I go. He said, I know you weren't coming here, but we at least had offer our invitation out there to you just in case. And we talked and chopped it up, and I told him, yeah, Coach, I want to come here. I just came here because Coach Mario wanted me to come check it out and see how it is. I mean, I just kept it real with him, and like they always say, you keep it real with somebody and go and tell them the truth. Don't beat around the bush. That person might come back a few years later and might be the man that you need a job or something for,
Already.
or a coaching position or something for. So yeah, every visit I went on, I made sure I respected the staff, the organization, everything, because like I say, especially with transfer reporters going these days, you don't want to mess over this coach here on a visit, and then something happen here, you got to transfer it out. So yeah, that's how that was. That was white Georgia out. But back to that Ron Zook story. I went on sign with Florida State that same day. My partner Kamari also did the same thing because he was supposed to go to Florida.
Yeah, he told us.
Yeah, man, y'all boys had
Did
my
did he
man.
tell y'all about the restaurant part?
No,
Nah, he tells about the
I
restaurant.
signed that morning. I think I signed about 9, 10 a.m. that morning. So that night, I think Kamari signed, because he signed on ESPN, if I'm not mistaken. I think his signing was at 6:37 p.m. So I went over to watch his signing. And after his signing, his family and my family went to this restaurant called Barn Hills. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if too many of y'all remember, it's something like Golden Corral, but it
I
was
know exactly
Barn
what you're
Hills.
talking about.
Yeah. We went to Barn Hills and we ate dinner there. And next thing you know, my phone, a voicemail pop up on it. And then probably about, I say 5, 10 minutes later, Kamani phone, a voicemail pop up on it. Man, I got my phone. I checked that voicemail. Man, when I say Ron Zook gave me the business on that voicemail,
Hey, Zucker
man,
making his rounds, huh?
man, so hey, he ain't do it public. He did it on that voicemail though, and then I'm looking at Crow listening here, and his mouth don't got big, and all we did was just lay our phone down and put it on speaker and let everybody hit. But Ron Zook gave us the business. Yeah, he gave us the business,
yeah,
man.
like Ranzo was a crazy recruit in that class. I don't have it in front of me, but it was super elite. And they ended up winning the national championship when
Yeah,
Urban got there. But if you'd have got you and Cremoni in that class, that
yeah,
definitely would have been one of the all timers for sure.
yes. Yes, when I say Ron Zook, yeah, Ron Zook gave it to us then, man. It was funny to us because we were kids, but yeah, he gave it to us.
So give us 1 second. We gotta mute my man Groove. Taylor, mute Groove real quick, man. Apologize, Dakota. This is
It's cool,
he's
it's
filling
cool.
in for our Miami guy.
Oh yeah.
me 1 second.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a classic story right there. I like it. That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Shout
All
out to
right,
Ron
so
Zook.
yeah, shout out to Ron, man. That's real. He ain't letting it slide like
Oh
that.
yeah, oh yeah.
Because I remember Crow, he did tell us something similar about him. About to go to Florida and Zook are recruiting him pretty well. So that's real cool. And Barnhill was over there by Lake Ella, right?
Yep, yep.
Man, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. That was a classic buffet in Tallahassee.
Oh
But
yeah.
so you get to Tallahassee. Yeah. So you get to Tallahassee. Let's talk about that transition going from Quincy Shanes to Tallahassee in Florida State. How was it like as far as just the adjustment coming from high school to college?
Um, well, I got to take it back a little bit because
Okay.
I actually didn't go straight to Florida State out of high school. I had to go to a prep school out of high school.
What prep school did you end up going to?
Hargrave Military Academy.
Shout out to Hargrave, man.
Yeah, Hargrave Military Academy.
That was a nice little pipeline for a minute back then, man.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Hargrave,
Oh.
Fort Union.
Yeah.
I went to NC Tech. Well, Antonio
Mhm.
Brown, he played. He went prep school. I went to NC Tech.
Oh man.
But it's crazy that you mentioned that, man, because back then those prep schools used to help out like a lot of
Yeah,
cats in situations like that.
yeah.
And you don't lose a year eligibility.
Don't usually and see my situation was I didn't pass the ACT out of high school. I never took it serious in high school. My dad used to always tell me about even when I was young, mom, everybody, you gotta take that test serious. And then come the last try I had to take the test, I ended up missing it by 1 point. So
Mm,
I didn't want to go to junior college to lose 2 years. So that's
right.
when they suggested prep school. So Georgia Military, I had signed with Georgia Military to go to them. But once I was getting ready to leave to go to Georgia Military, they telling me I have to stay 2 years. I'm like, no, I don't have to stay 2 years. Y'all trying to get me to stay 2 years because y'all want me there 2 years. So evidently that didn't go through. Coach Odell Higgins at FSU. He the one that got me into Hargrave, and he was the one that actually coming up there checking on me at Hargrave. I was only up there for a semester, but Odell made at least 3 trips up there to check on me. Cause once I got to Hargrave, I didn't play at all. I started in some practice in the training camp, and I think the third day of training camp, a defender dove into my leg in one-on-ones, no shoulder pads or nothing. We just got on helmet, dove into my leg and broke my fibula.
Mm,
So I was out the entire time I was at Hargraves, um, the entire time. So I had no choice but to concentrate on the ACT. And so the first time I took it, I passed it in uh, January of 2004. I was enrolled at FSU.
Real quick, talk
Um,
about that Hargrave transition though, because a lot of people don't know, man. You was at a military school, and
man,
it's some stuff you got to do, man. Especially for an 18-year-old, right out of high school. It's a transition.
Man, and like you said, military school, you're gonna get that military part in. If there's no ways around that. You waking up 4 o'clock in the morning to be standing out there in front of that flag by 5:30, the salute and raise the flag. And you're not walking out there. Nah, when you get to that bottom step, you get in your platoon and you marching. You're marching to the flag. After you do that, you march to the cafeteria. It's a military school, so that's exactly what you get in military and school. Only thing about it, I was in the post grad program, and only thing was say this was the sports part and everything. But other than that, you're gonna do those military parades, just like that movie, Major Payne, how they was out there doing all them competitions and stuff.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
the end, yes, that's at Hargrave. You're gonna get that. Lucky for me, I was in a on crutches and in a walking boot all the way up until my last month there. So that excluded me from all of that there. That excluded me from all of that. My guys used to get mad because I'm in the bed and they out there got to go stand up in front of a flag at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I'm out there hurt. I can't do none of that. So, but it installed a lot of discipline in me too. That's exactly where I got my discipline for. Um, Hargrave. I mean, it was a great experience. I met some guys that never thought I met for. Josh Smith. that played in the NBA. Actually, that's where I met him at because he was playing. He was at Oak Hill, and they played against Hargrave Military. Isaiah Swan that played basketball at FSU. Um, that's my best friend. That's where we met at. We was there the exact same time. He was there once he found out I was going to FSU, and I found out he was going for basketball. We just clicked like that. So you meet a lot of people, like you said. Hargrave Military, Virginia Tech run them. That's pretty much where everybody go from Hargrave, Virginia Tech. All those stars y'all see at Virginia Tech, over half of them come from Hargrave. But that military experience, man, oh my God. I hate for the people that got to do it full time. Yeah, I hate for that there. I was happy to get from up there because of the military part. But other than that, everything else was a great experience up there.
Yeah, shout out to Fort Union and Hargrave, man.
Oh yeah.
That was a time.
That's actually the last game of the football season every year for University Hargrave.
Yeah,
Big
that was a
rivalry
rivalry
game.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jacoby Ford went to Fort Union.
Yeah, Jacoby
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
Fort Union. Coach Pruney was the coach at
Oh yeah, Coach
Yep.
P.
Yeah,
Coach
Coach
P.
Pruney.
Yep, that's my guy.
So what was the transition like CJ was saying, what was the transition like when you get to Florida State, you at your dream spot, the spot you originally signed to? Bobby Bowden's not a recruiter no more. Now he's the head coach. The vibes usually change. What was that like when you stepped foot on Florida State campus as a ball player?
I mean, totally different. I mean, totally different for everything I've experienced. I mean, you got this big campus and you just free. You're free. I mean, I had to find out the hard way about going to class when I first got there, but it's so much freedom to where seemed like just like we said earlier, seemed like you in a dream. You in a dream. Never thought that I'd be on FSU campus like this, and I'm actually here. So it was a lot of things that I had to get adjusted to that I was behind because I came in a semester behind everyone else. Crow was already there. Ernie was already there. Um, Actually, when I got there in January, Cromartie roommate had to move out into another room to move me in there with him because we hit that was one of the agreements we made when we were senior. If we come here, me and Crow got to be roommates, and so they made that happen there. And then Johnson and Shaw was the roommate at that time. He was a wide receiver. So of course me and him clicked and connected because we see each other every day in the same wide receiver room every day. So everything played out. But as far as man, that transition, it was a hard transition at first, but then you get adjusted to it because like I said, you have so much freedom out there, and then you get on campus and you see I went to predominantly all black school. I mean, we probably had a couple of Hispanics here, but other than that, I'm all black. But when you get in and seeing this race, that race, this race, that race, man, what you supposed to do as a little 18-year-old kid out there?
Oh, you was getting busy. You was going after the bunnies? You chasing that snow?
Hey, I was scared of them. I was scared of them. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared of them. But I ended up finding out a lot of them are not who you think they are and everything, and became friends with some of them. Like a lot of them are, when you think about it, a lot of them they got good hearts. They try to help you out the best way they can and everything. And getting on that campus, like I say, I met so many people to where it actually made you feel like you was in the league, especially once you got out there and started balling. And then another thing that made it so good with me, I started balling, and then I'm a local, so every club, bar, party, whatever, we ain't paying nothing to get in here. And I'm walking in there about 20, 30 deep.
Give me a
Everywhere I
moon.
go,
Give me a
every,
moon story.
every, I fell in the moon. I fell in love with the moon when they took me there on my visit. From the day I went there on my visit, it was just a wrap. Then it was a wrap. It was a wrap. I pretty much had my own park. This in college now. This in college. Like I say, we ain't waiting no lines. We ain't waiting no lines. Uh, Bartender, my man Sean, he from St. Pete. Caucasian white guy, cool in the mug, pay for no drinks. Everybody, I mean, I don't matter who I got with me, they walking in with me, and we ain't paying for nothing, nothing, and that stuck with me. Even when I'm out, I haven't been to the moon in some years now because I don't got older, got kids and everything. So it's been a while since I've been to the moon. But from the time I think I stopped, the last time I've been to the moon had to be around 2016. I left FSU in 2000. My last game with them was in 2007. So from that point on, all the way up until then, every time I go back to the moon, it was just like I was still in college.
Word.
And that's for dump week, whatever week, anything, no matter what, we getting in there.
What was the pros and cons of being like just local and at home like that? I know you had a good, you enjoyed the nightlife and some of those perks. Are there any cons that you didn't like about being local?
Yes, a lot of cons. Not, I mean, a lot of when you just like I say about the entourage. Um, it's not that many times where I was actually by myself, like by myself. Even when I'm at my apartment, someone's always there, and that's just because you're a local and you know everybody, whether it's family or friends or anything. It just and a lot of hands out like you in the league. We're not in the league. We some college students. We out here trying to get it just like y'all. But they don't see that. They don't see that there. And that was a I basically I think that's why I went out a lot when I was at FSU because I was trying to outweigh the pros with the cons because I didn't want that to too much tear me down and try to stay focused. That's why I always kept like family or somebody around me, try to keep a smile on my face because sometimes that get tiring and aggravating and stressful, especially you gotta get up, go to class, go to practice, get prepared for this game, and then it is someone just always there. And
Yeah.
not speaking of family, because throughout my almost my entire year of college, I stayed with my older brother. We always had apartment together and everything. And like I say, that was pretty much my protection there. Then my older sisters, they didn't play no games about me. They were basically my security for the females when we in the clubs. They don't play about me. And yeah, that was one of the main things there. A lot of I'm trying to give it a name, but y'all I think y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that weighs heavy on y'all, so that
Yeah.
weighs heavy on you.
Yeah, I know it could be a lot of pressure just from being local, the pressure to make big plays, the pressure to start, the pressure of just people always being around. And one of the good things about going off to college is getting that alone time,
Yeah.
like just separating from your norm and getting an escape from your everyday living. And you never got that opportunity just staying local.
Hmm.
Kermani spoke about that a little bit, like how he didn't get to get that college feel of being away from home until he went to the league.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was pretty much how it was with me. I didn't get that feeling until I left. Um, I think as everybody know that what happened to me at the combine, far as the injury, the career ending injury as they called it. And it was something simple. Just a simple toe touch route. The same drill I see them doing did this year. Catch the ball, toe tap, keep 2 feet in bounds. Simple drill, and that was my accident on. I caught the ball and tapped with the first toe, tapped with the second one. Once I tapped with the second one, I just heard about 3 pops in my leg.
Mm.
3 pops in my leg. So I'm thinking it's nothing. I push myself up off the ground and try to stand up. As soon as I stand up and put pressure on my left leg, that whole leg just folded up under me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, nah, something ain't right then. So yeah, that's when they got me off the field and took me in there for MRIs and couldn't find out I had on told my ACL, LCL, and PCL all in one. Yeah, all in one.
Let's
Right
rewind
there.
a little bit, man. Let's get some of these Florida State playing days. best stadium to play in, not Florida State. I know CJ got some more questions, but favorite stadium to play in that's not at home. What was your favorite away game?
Even though we didn't never win in it, being here, Griffin, Florida Gators. That atmosphere down there is something about that atmosphere. I mean, loud. When they're fan, especially when the Gators are winning, and that was during those championship areas when they were. I'm putting it out here right now. I never beat the Florida Gators a day in my life, except for on NCAA football, college video game or something. But
Yeah, that was wild. That was a wild run right there.
yeah, my 4 years never beat them. Came close 2 years, but we never beat those Gators. And man, there's something about them. Clemson have 100,000 plus in their stand. When I say you can't hear nothing, and one thing about Clemson, we played them Labor Day weekend, my senior year, first game of the season. And when I swear to y'all, it felt like the ground on the field was vibrating the entire game. Man, I never been in a stadium like that. Though.
Florida State, Miami, and Florida State, Florida is you guys' two biggest rivalry. You like the Florida rivalry over? You got an echo.
Yeah, he had an echo on the background.
Drew, you got it on YouTube in the background or something? Can you hear us?
Were you playing it live on YouTube?
You said what?
Were you playing the show live on YouTube?
Oh, I had it. I cut it off. I didn't even know I was on, bro.
All right,
Yeah, you on.
No
You
My
problem.
bad.
can jump in the conversation too if you want to, but yeah.
Oh, that's why I've been chilling, man. What's up, Fat?
What's up, man?
Hey, my best friend played with you, D-Mac McClure.
Oh yeah, that's my dog there.
Yeah. We played high school ball together, man. That's my dog, man. I used to be down there with TC, JR.
Yeah,
I used to be down there in the summer with y'all boys, man.
all them
Y'all
boy
be doing that workout.
roommates.
Yeah. I used
Yeah,
to
all
be
them boy
down there and shit.
roommates.
Yeah.
Yeah, but out of the Florida, Georgia, Florida State and Florida, Miami. To me, I'm gonna have to go with FSU versus the U, man. It's just something about that game. Going into that game, the coaches actually seem like to me they be on us more going into the FSU Miami game harder than going on the FSU Florida game, and I see why. Because man, it was some dogs over there on that Miami team. It was especially when I was playing, it was some dogs over there on that team. Them boys there. Man, that time I probably should have waited and came out of school a little bit or something. Or came out a little earlier when Florida State was killing everybody. But I ended up going 2-2 versus Miami. 2-2, beating my sophomore year and my junior year. One in Tallahassee. My sophomore year is the one that actually broke the streak.
Yeah, I remember that game. That was like 10-7, the defensive game, right?
Defensive game, and actually that was my coming out game. That's the game that I had to step up big time because Willie Reed was the starting wide receiver, and Willie got hurt that game, and he got hurt early, I think in the first quarter, and I was next up, and who I got in front of me that entire game, Devin Hester.
Oh, Hester.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was playing corner. That when they had moved
He
in the
playing
corner.
corner there.
Yeah, they had no move, and the entire game, Devin Hester. I beat him on a couple of routes. I beat him on that big third down dig route that gave us the momentum to go in and score. But when I say that man is so fast, man, I thought I had some speed on me. It was a play I beat Devin Hester at the line. He tried to jam me, and I was a big physical receiver. I beat him at the line, and he actually slipped and fell. So I don't took my head down digging. I said, I know I'm finna score. And I look back and wonder why they ain't throw me the ball. And I see why. 'Cause by the time I look back, this man running right on beside me, pad me on the hill. Nah, here I go fast. Man, what it is here, man? This dude is
5'6",
fast, man.
Shout out to 5'6", man. We got some speed around here, man.
I got a question.
That's
I
a
got a
good
question for you,
story.
Fat. So as a player, me personally, I felt I always liked when Miami played Florida State, like was that Labor Day? That Labor
Labor
Day
Day.
game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was my favorite time, you know what I'm saying, during the rivalry. How
hmm
do you feel about them going back to that, like the first game of the year, that Monday, all eyes on Miami, Florida State? How you feel about that? Do you think both teams needs to get, well, y'all had a pretty good season last year.
hmm
I don't know what Mario doing with my squad, but
I think what people can take off playing that first games of the season versus playing in the middle of the game of the season, just look at the score. When they play in the middle of the season, they be scoring 30, 40 points. Every last one of those games we played in, I don't think none of those games was over 10 points. If I'm not, might be a couple of, might be at 13 or something like that.
yeah, I don't
It
think he
wasn't
ever
no
hit
20,
20.
it wasn't no 20 nothing. And each one of those games ended by a field goal. And
First game be
and
rough,
if you
bro.
just think about it, the offense don't be quite well developed the first game. You know, it's gonna take some games for the offense to get their rhythm. Defense, they about busting heads, so that's why every last one of those games was defensive game. But those are good games. Those games had you on your toes from the beginning to the
Yeah.
end. Now it ain't no telling who's gonna get. Florida State might get blowed out one year. Miami might get blowed out one year. That's where it's looking how it's going on because each team have time to get their offense welled up and by what is it, October, mid-November,
Yeah.
they in postseason form then. So each one of them tuned up. But and that's when the game should be really good. But then you got to look at injuries. Injuries
Yeah.
plays a role in that too. You know, at the beginning of the season, not too many injuries, so you're gonna get the best of the best.
So would you rather play that Labor Day, or would you rather play when you're in mid-season form or
I'd
postseason
rather
form?
play on Labor Day because it ain't number one game on that night, and
Yeah.
everybody tuned in.
Showtime.
And I think
It-
and I know y'all, I know it was extra motivation for y'all too, coming in the summer workouts, knowing that y'all got a rivalry game, first game. Because me as a fan, when we played Florida that first game in 2019 in
Mhm,
Orlando, like even the
mhm.
build up as a fan, that whole summer is like you prepping. You know what I'm saying? You prepping like you about
And-
to actually go into battle. So I can
it-
only
it-
imagine how y'all boys was like
exactly,
doing
and
workouts.
it was even crazy for me because every off season I trained in Boca Raton. So after every training session, I'm down in Miami and stuff, and I'm seeing some of those guys, and talking
Was it Chris
trash and
Carter at the
everything.
time down here? Who was training
Mhm.
at Boca Raton? Was it Chris Carter at that time?
No, I was working with one of my old high school coach, Ricky Smith. That's Leroy Smith' uncle.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I come down training with him every summer.
All right.
But we trained on FAU Pacific. Yeah,
Shout
so
out to you.
and so that was really extra motivating to me. And people, one thing about the Florida State rivalry, Florida Miami rivalry. Yeah, we don't like each other when we on that field playing against each other, but when we out that field, man, it's all love. We hang out together, do everything together.
That's
That
this
might be
show,
one.
man. That's how it's supposed
Yeah,
to be,
yeah,
bro.
just like
Yeah,
boxing,
yeah.
you promoting the fight, we promoting the game. But after the game, it's all love, man. Everybody be hanging out and everything. That's what you got to do to get the fans in it. But you can't be sitting there talking and don't put on no show. Because I know my junior year, I had Michael Irvin going crazy over there on that sideline my junior year against Miami. When I was up against dang, what's my man name? Number 22. I can't think of his name right now.
Seattle Seahawks.
We used to go,
So
we used
Kelly.
to
no, it's
go
not.
Was it
we
Kelly?
Kelly,
Kellen Jennings.
Kelly Jennings, yeah.
Kelly Jennings. Yeah.
Kellen Jennings. Yeah, I was up against Kellen Jennings a lot. And yeah, we went at it a whole lot out there.
Who's the best defensive back you faced in college football?
Mm, I think it was Will Blackman from Boston College. Yeah, Will was real skilled. He was real skilled in Boston College, Will Blackman. I think
Okay.
he ended up playing some years in the league too. Um,
How was it going against Crow in practice? Because type of athlete Crow was. How was it going against Crow in practice and not even Crow, Leroy and them type of DBs at that point in time? Because it was FSU had some pretty good DBs back then. So how was it in practice going against those guys?
um, I actually really didn't go against Cromartie and Leroy that much in practice. Probably about a handful, few times, but not that much because I went against Crow my whole high school career in the summer, doing 7-on-7s, and like I say, I've been knowing Leroy since I was a little boy, and since he was Leroy's like about 2, 3 years older than me, so we've been knowing each other a whole lot. So we always went against each other. They always wanted me to go against the other guys and everything. But sometimes we did bump into each other. The toughest one for us, Florida State, is that doggone Brian McFadden, B-Mac.
B-Mac was nice, boy.
Man, my freshman year, B-Mac, I lined up in front of B-Mac in practice, and I had no idea what they were doing. All I know is I seen all the BBs jumping up and down, getting crumped. But what he was lined up in front of me to jam me. You know me, they ain't telling me nothing. Leroy ain't tell me this, and I wonder why Leroy was over there laughing right before the play. He was in one-on-ones, and he lined up in front of me, and then he caught his back leg back. I'm like, what is this man doing? And when I say once Chris Rich snapped that ball, that boy picked me up, grabbed me, and picked me up, and basically choke slammed me to the ground. Man, B-Mac was a physical, strong cornerback, man. And that's when Cafonzo thought it was his senior year. He came up to me and told me to, once you see that leg back, that mean they finna try to choke on Jam. I said, so you tell me this now? But yeah,
Hey,
so
you know what's crazy you said that because I remember when I was down there one summer and there was Fred Ralph's freshman year. He was there in the summer. I
yeah,
was there when him and B McFadden had went against each other and Fred had slapped them like trying to get off the line because Brad McFadden was killing everybody in 1-on-ones.
he
I
wasn't
remember that.
slapping
I
them,
was
but
there.
he was slapping that air because B-Man had him up in there. He had him
Real
up in
talk.
there. But
But
yeah,
see, people don't
Brian,
realize how strong Brian was because he wasn't
Yeah,
that big, but he
yeah,
was a
I mean,
he
he
physical
was
wasn't
guy.
that
long
big,
though.
Yeah,
but he was so physical and strong. And then, you had Gerard Ross, Gerard G. Ross standing about 6'3". I
Ross
mean,
Bone.
people
Yeah,
ain't know how big G. Ross was, but G. Ross was a big corner out there and everything. And me and him went at it every day because I played backside. That's the thing. That's the difference between Jimbo Fisher and Jeff Biden. My
I was
first three
gonna
years,
ask you about that as well too. About
yeah,
Jimbo
man.
and
My,
Jeff.
my 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 first 3 years, man. I mean, I had a million catches, but no touchdowns and hardly no yaks because my little Jeff Biden to death. He was the one that got me there too, but he didn't use me as my full potential. What he saw in high school. I basically just stayed backside at X, and that's the short side of
And
the field.
that's another thing because a lot of people have different opinions about Jeff Bauer. So and a lot not so favorable too because a lot of people feel like FSU had a lot of talent on offense, a lot
Hmm.
of talent in regards to what we had on paper, but offense just wasn't putting out to the degree that we're used to prior
Hmm.
to with Coach Rick under the helm. So
Yeah,
what is your opinion as what is your opinion on him? Excuse me, as an offensive coordinator
I mean
overall.
Jeff Biden as the offensive coordinator. I mean I love him to death. But like I say, to me, I don't think he used his pieces how they were supposed to be used. Um, like I said, I can speak on me for example. I was the type of receiver you can put me anywhere on that field, I can make it happen. Slide, backside, in the backfield, reverse, and you got all this on film. That's the reason you recruited me. That's the reason why I'm pretty sure that's the reason why you came by my house about 30 times or so. You see something in me, but when I get there, I'm not being used like that. That's why I tell people, look at my body, my from my freshman, sophomore, junior year. Look at my body, my physique out there on the field, and then go into my senior year when Jimbo came and the new strength conditioning coach came. Man, my sophomore year, I was 225, almost 230 out there. I mean, I hadn't got buck like muscle buck, and it pretty much slowed me down, and everything. My senior year, I'm 212, real
Moving.
muscles, moving, doing everything, and Jimbo Fisher had me all over the field. That's why I led the team in receiving yards and touchdowns that
Yep,
year.
that was your best year.
That was my best year,
Yeah,
and I always
Jimbo's
told
first year.
I wish I had one more year up under Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo had me all over that field, and not just me. All of us, the whole receivers squad. When you see Greg Carr running reverses and everything, a lot of that throw the defense off. But when you have someone staying in one spot, it's on you. It's easy for a defensive coach to go in the film room and break that down and say, "This is how we finna kill them." Because we know Cody Fagg finna line up at X. We know Chris Davis finna line up at Y. We know Greg Carr finna line up at Z on the Y side of the field. We know that. It ain't gonna never change. Never change. I mean, so that's pretty much easy for a defensive coordinator to pick something up. Okay, we already don't knock this out. Let's focus on this run game. Bam. We know what they're gonna do this just because just because of the alignment. You know, people just don't know. You could have 5 plays, 40 formations.
Mm-hmm.
Formations is what gonna kill people. That's what get the defense moving around, not the
Correct.
Yeah.
plays. 5 plays, 40 formations. And you could kill them all day. And I think that's why I think everybody had a good year my senior year, man, because Jimbo came in and that man is guru for real.
Ain't that the year y'all beat Bama? Did y'all beat Bama that year?
Yep.
Yes, that's
You
just
had
me.
you had that long catch about 60 or 70 yards. That was
Yeah,
Yeah.
70 yards on Bama that year there. I think that was I think that when what's the coach name there?
that was Saban's
Same.
first year. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Saban's
his
Yeah, that was
first
first
Saban's
year
first
there.
year. Yeah.
Yep.
year.
Mm-hmm.
That game was in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, it was in
Yep,
Jax.
in
Yeah.
Jacksonville. Oh, that crowd. That was a live game there.
Yeah, let's talk about that game though, because that was playing against Bama. Then it's Bobby versus Saban at that point in time. Let's talk about the build up to that game, and also that was a Xavier Lee. So I'm gonna talk about this next, the Drew Weatherford the Xavier Lee battles. But let's talk about that game itself, because a lot of people was hyped to see Xavier Lee playing that game, and to see you guys play against an SEC team in Bama.
Oh yeah, that was a big game there, and like you say, Drew Rutherford started that game. He started that game, and he was having a rough couple of series, and I think right before halftime, that's when they put Zay in, and Zay started moving that ball. I think we went in halftime 3-0 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. We, it seemed like when Zay got out on that field, man, oh my God, because we already knew what he can do in practice and everything. But Drew was having such a good season, you just can't snatch the man for no reason. He was holding it down. Um, and they had like you said, they had them built up so much hype into that game, especially it was at a neutral site playing in Jaguar Stadium and the body bound versus Saban. That's all you needed there. I mean, that game that was basically like a Florida game, a Florida Miami game to me. That was a big game, and it was a lot of NFL scouts at that game, and that was actually my breakout game. And the crazy thing about it, Jimbo came up to me before that game. You finna have a breakout game. He actually told me that. He said you finna have a breakout game because I was kind of like in a little slump. I think the game before that I had dropped a couple of passes and I was in a little slump, and that's all they was telling me in practice. Him and Coach Lauren Dawson, hell of a wide receiver coach. I mean, great wide receiver
Awesome like
coach.
that.
I mean, you getting coached by Ron Dugans your first 2 years, and then your first 3 years getting coached by Ron Dugans because he was a graduate
Grand
assistant there.
assistant. Yep.
And then your senior year, Lawrence Dawson coming in, another FSU legend. I mean, you can't help but being a fine-tuned machine. And that game there, man, I see why Nick Saban is where he at today, man, because the way he coached and the way he had those guys over there, that was a battle there. And like you say, that first touchdown, I actually caught 2 touchdowns that game. I caught the first one on a little in and out route. I think it was about like 8, 9 yards. Caught that touchdown, and that felt good because that was actually my first touchdown of the season. Going into the and then like you say, once I ran that little 5 yard hitch route and spent and stiff on my boy, I already knew I was gonna score, and that just set the standards there. It seemed like the whole team just elevated then because you start seeing the defense taking over. Man, that it's something about the FSU, Florida, and Miami defense, man. Is it's electrifying. And then I got a front row seat of it right over there on the sideline. I'm used to seeing it on TV, but seeing it live in
Well,
action.
some good defenses back then, well, wasn't it?
And I used to
Yeah.
be excited to see the defense than me going out, than the offense going out there on the field. I just want to see the defense because I see what they used to try to kill us in practice. We had plenty of fights in practice, plenty of fights, and majority of them, 9 times out of 10, if a fight going down, 9 times 10, a receiver dealing with the fight. When I say we
Yeah.
ain't take no mess out there from nobody, we ain't care was an O line, when we ain't talking about fight now, but D line, linebackers, Sate, we didn't care. And then if one of our receivers fight, you turn around, you better see the rest of us better be there. We don't care if we don't care if it's 8 against 1. We gonna
What was
thump some.
what was that quarterback battle like? Ben, I don't know if you had relationships with either or, but it was a quarterback battle there.
All
What
right,
was
cool.
that?
So you spoke about
I like it.
how can I put this? What was the battle like? But what was it like for you as a receiver, just seeing the Drew Weather Xavier Lee saga play out? Because a lot of people wanted Xavier Lee to play, 5-star kid coming in out of Daytona. What do you feel like the issues were for Xavier Lee that stopped him from being the guy? And I guess what Drew Weatherford did, I guess he did enough to keep the job. But what was that battle like from a receiver perspective to see those two go at it and to see the back and forth with the coaches as well?
Uh, to be honest, from me, I was sick and tired of it because y'all know I was there from day one, from 2004. This started way back in 2004.
Right.
That wasn't nothing that just did because those guys came in together, and then like I said, I came in a semester late, so I came in with those guys, and this meant something that been, Drew, Xavier was supposed to be the Jay was going in as the number one what that was our sophomore year. He was going in as the number one, but he got hurt in camp. He got hurt in camp, and that's when Drew took over. Drew took over that first game, and like I said, we beat Miami. I mean, you're a freshman quarterback. You come in, you don't beat Miami. He just took over from there, and it seemed like to me, it seemed like that took something on Zay because sometimes when he come out there in practice, he never was. He didn't seem like himself. It got to a point where Zay, one point in time, Zay had went home and nobody ain't even know about it. This was during the season. Zay had went home and nobody like Zay had Zay had went home and no one knew about it and stuff. And so I think it was taking a lot of toll on him because he knew the talent he had. He knew what he had, and I think that what he had lost focus a little bit. He had lost focus a little bit, and he let all that take the best of him. But it was a back and forth battle because, like I say, even my junior year, Drew playing, then Zay come in and play. Zay come in and play. Then come right back my senior, the same thing. And like I said, ever since that Miami game, Zay took over, and then I think something happened in practice where Zay got in trouble or something, and that's how Drew ended up getting it back. Every time Drew got it back, it wasn't because of Xavier Lee lost it because of his playing on the field or something like that. It was more like something he probably did like off the field that caused him to lose his position. Because everyone knows Zay was a top gun. I mean, a guy that could stand on a knee and throw a ball 70, 80 yards on one knee. Y'all see how he throw that ball out of me. Just like we speaking on that 70-yard touchdown I got. Anybody else do that, I probably got tackled on the spot. When I say I turned around and that ball actually stuck to me, I had no choice but to catch it. And that boy got a bullet, a rocket on him, man. A rocket, and he's a hell of an athlete. Y'all see how he's scrambling out there, and they was a heck of an athlete. You see, when he went to the league, he went as a tight end.
Yeah.
He didn't go as a quarterback. He went as a tight end with Baltimore. He was an athlete. He could play basketball. He could do everything. That's why I say majority. Every time he lost it, it was pretty much something he did off the field. Not nothing on the field caused him to lose his position.
Like skill wise, I kind of felt like he was like kind of thinking back on it, he was kind of like a Cam Newton before a Cam Newton.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just from a skill set and his arm strength and that, make plays abilities.
Hmm.
But that just goes to show you, situations in college football kind of deters your future. And it's not about because of your talent. It may be, like you said, off the field issues and just dealing with just
Mm-hmm.
Just
simple
bad luck.
QB
Like you said, he was
yeah,
like he was leaning, then he get
Yeah.
injured, injury, and
Mm.
then you go. And that's another thing too, man. A lot of these when you battle
fast.
injuries and stuff, you it's a mental side of it too that you got
Yeah.
to bounce back
Yeah.
from too,
Hmm.
man. Like, and you know this, firsthand, Dakota. With the injuries you've been through.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh yeah.
rehab your physical body, but it's a mental aspect you got to bounce back as far as rehabbing as well too.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about Drew was a true leader. Drew was a true leader. If he see anybody down, he finna get them up. That's one thing I like about Drew. Drew was a true leader from the time he got there. And I think that played a large role why he stayed at a quarterback too. Cause once Drew hot, he hot. Once he hot out on that field, he hot. He made smart decisions. Um, he know how to get you out of situations. His arm just wasn't as strong as Zay. He wasn't more as mobile as Zay, but he was a good quarterback too. And then, like I said, let's take it back. The offense. You see what Drew and Zay did when they got with Jimbo versus. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Hmm.
You
And
say it
that
now, man.
and
You
that's
say it.
like in the NFL or anywhere else these days.
It's
Uh,
play
if
calling.
you get put with the right scheme, you're gonna last.
Yeah.
That's real. All right, man. So we can fast forward a little bit. Like I said, you go to the combine and you had your best year at FSU. You primed to get drafted. You got perfect size, speed, this, that, another. Then you had that catastrophic knee injury, man. How was that for you? I know that was demoralizing. Just to go back to the mental side we were just talking about. How was that for you, just going through that injury at that point in time in your career?
As I sit back and think about it now, I should have never went to the combine. I think I should have went. I shouldn't have participated in anything. Um, I thought I was ready, but I think physically I was ready, but mentally I don't think I was ready. I only got a good month, maybe a month and a half of training in for the combine, and that because a few weeks after my last game at FSU, my grandmother passed. So I had to deal with her funeral, making sure my mom's straight, making sure everybody else straight here in Quincy before I even head down to Boca to begin the training. And like I say, that happened a couple of weeks after my about 2 weeks after my last game, and I was real close to my grandma. I was close to both of my grandmas. My mother died um, a month before my first game at FSU. She only got a chance to see me play in the spring game of my freshman year. And then my mom died 2 weeks after my last game. So that deal with a lot. I had to make sure a lot of stuff was right before I go down here and do that. And then, like I say, I was ready physical, but I don't think I was ready mentally for that there. I was always thinking about them back at home and everything. Cause like I say, Quincy and Tallahassee only like a good 20 minutes apart. So every Sunday after games, I always came back home and made sure I was with grandma because she gonna have some food for me, and she gonna wash all my clothes and fold them up for me before I leave. Grandma's doing what grandma's doing.
Yeah.
But then, like I say, the way I got hurt, that just was to me was a freak accident. It was I go watch film on it. I made that play numerous of times, and like I said, once they told me that process there, told me ACL, LCL, um, had MRI, so I had to end up staying in Indianapolis an extra night because they wasn't able to get me on the plane because they wanted to wait till some swelling go down. And so I flew back to Tallahassee, and the next day I flew out of Tallahassee, I had to fly to Birmingham, Alabama, because Dr.
Andrew.
James Andrews did my surgery, one of the best doctors in the world. He did my surgery, and like I said, they had them put out in the tabloids, all on media, career-ending injury, not gonna come back. I went to Dr. James Andrews, was up there for an entire week. This guy actually started my rehab the next day after surgery. I had to start rehab. I weighed at 212 pounds at the combine. By the end of the week up there in Birmingham, I was like at 185, about to be pushing 170. Looked like I don't know if y'all saw that movie with 50 Cent.
Oh yeah, when he got sick.
Man,
Yeah.
I was looking exactly like that, man. Like, what in the world, man? And I had lost so much weight because I wasn't eating. I had no appetite at all because um all them drugs they were shooting me up with for pain because that stuff was killing me. So I had never had no appetite, couldn't eat, had to put a cap on me because I couldn't urine and then everything was numb because they had to numb my whole lower body. So I felt I didn't feel my whole body till probably like 2.5, maybe 3 weeks after my surgery. Couldn't feel nothing. Had a had a tube stuck in me. So when I go home, the tube was stuck in me and had a clear ball on it about this big and it was full of morphine. So I just hit a button. Every time I feel pain, I hit a button and it shoot morphine in that. You can't do that to nobody, man. Especially
Right.
sending them back home with it.
Right.
Because every time I felt pain, I was hitting that button.
Right.
It got to a point where I was stuck on the chairs in the living room and couldn't move at all. My brother used to have to come literally pick me up, lift me up, take me to the bathroom or take me to the bed and stuff. So and I was out a year and a half with that injury. A year and a half because I also had a foot drop. I had lost the nerves all in from a knee all the way down. Had no nerves, couldn't even lift my foot. Had to wear a little cast just to hold my foot up for a year and a half. Year and a half, going to see Dr. James Andrews, and he had just built his new institute in Gulf Breeze, Florida. He had just built; it was brand new. Um, I say about the first month after my surgery, I used to have to be up there every weekend, driving 3.5 hours from Quincy every weekend up there to rehab. Then the farther it got, okay, every 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks, then once every month. And finally, I ended up coming back a year and a half. But man, that was a long, long process. My nerves was the last thing to come back. My nerves were I was walking, running, lifting weights and everything, but I still had that cast on me because I still had a foot drop. That came back probably about I probably say probably about 2 months, 2 or 3 months before the 2009 Pro Day at FSU, because that's the one I participated in.
How that roller coaster ride got to be crazy. So you go from at the combine, getting ready to go to your childhood dreams, your life dreams
hmm
of the NFL, to like another life change, which is like a crazy turn of events where you tear a bunch of tendons in your knee. The rehab is crazy. The pain threshold, all of that, bro. Like mentally, like what's going through your head, and how do you stay afloat mentally? Like what was your source of faith? Who had your back? Like what was you going through at that time?
Um, like I said, that entourage I used to talk about got smaller. I didn't have that many cousins. Didn't have that many family members. Um, I still had my apartment back in Tallahassee, uh, but ended up getting evicted. Yeah, I ended up getting evicted out of that because I didn't have the funds, wasn't able to do nothing, couldn't work at all, do nothing. Only thing that stepped me afloat was my agent at that time. They kept me with some change in my pocket and everything. You know that what kept me afloat. My brother, my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters. Those are the ones that kept me afloat. They made sure I got to rehab. I had a car. I couldn't really drive it at that time. So everyone just played a part on making sure I bounce back and get back to where I was going. But doing that year and a half, man, that was a tough time. That was a tough time until that doggone check came in from the NFL from the injury. Once that came in, that brought a little light on me, but it still wasn't what I dreamed of because I think that played a major role or the reason why nobody didn't pick me up once I got got healthy enough because I think because that money I got off that injury from the NFL.
Got you.
I think
So
that's what it was.
you sued the NFL at that time, or you got some type of insurance payout?
Well, I didn't really sue them. What it was, they didn't make you sign waivers back then. Yeah, I didn't sign no waiver or anything, so it was basically something my agent did, where they had to shoot me some money for that. They didn't have no waiver, and ever since after that injury there, I think they made them sign waivers because at that time that was the Indianapolis Colts old dome that they got. You know, they was just moving out of that dome the same year to moving to the one that they in now. So that turf that was down there wasn't real good turf either. So that played a major role too. They kind of knew that turf was terrible down there. So that played a major role in it too.
So if you bounce back after all that, then you start playing arena football, man. How was it just to get back on the field in general after, going through that year and a half, the grueling process of rehab and this, that, and another, man, the ups and downs mentally. How was that just to get back and to play football again?
I really first got my feelings when I went to the Dolphins. They had a private workout for me. Um, and at that point in time, when I went to the Dolphins, I knew I was right at about I'd say a good 60, 70%. I knew I wasn't to where I was. So I know that played a major reason why I didn't get the deal with them also. And then I say about a month or two later, I was at Buffalo Bills rookie mini camp. I was at Buffalo Bills rookie mini camp, having a real good camp. I started getting back my old ways, started feeling myself, feet touching the ground. I didn't have my weight back that much. I think I was weighing about a good 195, something like that, maybe 200 then. But I was running, I was catching, I was doing the punt returns, I was doing everything. They love me. I mean, they love me up there in rookie mini camp. I was putting on shows and 7-on-7, one-on-ones. I still had a little pain in my knee. I say up there, I was probably about a good 85, 90%. But what messed me up was um, I was up there at rookie mini camp, and I think my last day up there, that's when they signed Terrell Owens, and that was pretty much the last slot. That when everything had went down with T.O. and Dallas, and they signed T.O., and that pretty much what took the last spot with that there and everything. But they loved me. I loved it up there and everything. That what kind of got my foot going. So I ended up flying back to Miami and training because I was living in Miami at the time. Training, got back to 100% and ended up going to Chicago Slaughter in Chicago. And man, when I say that was a big transition from playing outdoor on a 100-yard field versus playing in an indoor 50-yard field. And I was the type that said I never play arena when I was growing up. I said that. I said, man, I ain't gonna play no arena. I ain't gonna play no arena. But you see what God put you in places for a certain situation. And once I got there, I actually loved it, man. I mean, the atmosphere, the fans being right up on you. And people don't know NFL players have a hard time adjusting to the arena league than arena league having a
Adjusting
hard
to the
time adjusting
league,
to
yeah.
NFL.
Definitely.
I seen so many guys from NFL come into the arena league and get cut because they think the NFL game is fast, arena is fast.
Yeah.
That's why they be having about 70, 80 points a game. That thing is fast, defense and offense. And you know, the NFL wide receivers, they so used to just opening it up, running down, hauling tail down this big field and everything. But now you got this short, small field to work with. It's padded all the way around. And man, those games, those be some good games, man. And the crowd, the ones that make it a good game. Um, I
What's the
think
biggest transition?
hmm,
My
again,
bad. What's the biggest trans? What was?
getting adjusted to the Florida game. Cause like you say, I was so used to playing on that big outdoor field. And when I first started playing, I'm turning around, the ball hitting me in the face and stuff. It get up on you so fast. And then believe it or not, the balls that they play with is actually smaller.
Yeah.
They don't like the
Different
little
Oh,
balls
see, I
that you
didn't
throw
know.
around in the yard with the kids and
Like the
stuff.
kind of like little Nerf balls.
Basically,
and it was like it was kind of like the CFL rule too, like that slide had you could get like a running
yeah, high
head start.
motion.
Yeah, the high
The high
motion.
motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the high motion. And I had my time with Calgary. I was in a bunch of training camps and everything down there in Orlando, and like you say, those motions and stuff, it's even crazy out there in the Canadian league because you have about 5, 6 on going in different motions, all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
But you got to be in some shape to play arena. Like you say, those high motions and all that, you doing that the whole. You got to be in some shape to play arena. And yeah, that was a good experience there because I played in Chicago, I played Tampa Bay Storms, and then I played Orlando Predators.
What are you
So
doing these days, De'cody? Like, what you got popping? Update
as
these
of
fans
right
on what's
now,
happening.
I'm back in my hometown on the director of Parks and Recreation. So I'm dealing with the youth, the adults, the senior citizens. When it comes down to, I mean, we have I have a youth travel football team. I have 4 teams. First team ages 6 and under, 8 and under, 10 and under, and 12 and under. We travel and play teams in North Georgia. Yeah, South Georgia, North Florida, and everything. And at the end of the year, those kids had the opportunity to go to nationals. Actually, my 12-year-old team, we won the entire thing this year. This is my 3rd year in the league, and we won the entire thing. I know Champ Bailey have a team in this same league. A couple more NFL guys have teams in the same league. I run the basketball programs for the youth, adults, T-ball. Right now, we just starting our T-ball program, baseball program, coach pit program. I'm over all of that. I'm over the adult kickballs, pretty much everything dealing with parks and recreation in the city of Quincy. I'm over the swimming pools, everything. Everything. I'm the director over it.
Them kids know you're a legend from around there like that.
Yeah, they some of them, a lot of kids on my football team, they didn't really know who I was until I surprised them with I took them to a surprise visit to one of FSU practice. They closed the practice off for all my teams this past football season,
That's
and
dope.
they didn't
That's
really
dope.
know that I was like that because a lot of them, if you go in my office, you'll see my office is pretty decorated with FSU and a lot of my pictures, and then I have big posters because I host a football camp every year. My last year with hosting it was 2019, and I haven't started it back since COVID. We're gonna start it back next year called the De'cody Fagg and Friends Football Camp, which is a free camp for football players and cheerleaders. Ages range the 4 to 17. And when I started the camp in 2014, I only had 50 kids participated. By the time we got to 2019, my camp was averaging over 350 kids. And that just wasn't from this local area. I had kids from Panama City, Georgia, everywhere coming down to this camp. And then COVID hit. That kind of what put a pause on it. And it was a free camp. No one pays nothing. I invite a lot of my former teammates. Some FSU players come out. And that's what I got going on here in Quincy as of right now.
No, that's dope,
Man, that's
man.
dope. Love to hear it. Last question before we get you out of here, man. What's your current thoughts on the state of FSU program, in Mike Norvell and the job he's doing?
Man, I love the direction I see it going in. I see the potential. Um, at first, like I tell everybody, when Mike Norvell first came in, they talking about get rid of him, get rid of him. Even the same thing like I told them about Willie Trickett. Um,
Taggart.
I
Willie
mean,
Taggart. Yeah.
I'm thinking about Trickett because he coached me.
Yeah, Coach Tricky, yeah.
Coach Trickett coached O-line with me, but Willie Taggart, yeah. It takes some money. You got to give some. It takes at least 3 years to build a program. And I think that's for anybody. A legit 3 years. You should have something going. Not even if you're not winning the championship, you should have at least something going. And that's the same thing I said about my program. It was 3 years, and our 3rd year we won a championship. And I believe this past season was Norvell's 3rd year. Um, even like with high school jobs, and I think you get someone a good 3 years, they should have what it take to turn the program around because then they'll be able to have their recruits get in there and see what they recruits get. I don't really think you can base someone off someone else recruits because you got to get to know them once you get in there. You really haven't been watching them as much, but that's just like you running a business and you put in that business who you know gonna get in that business and run that business for you. Not you just buying the business and you got everybody else staff. You don't know them. You don't know what they capable of doing. program might flop. So that's why I say you got to at least give people 3 years, and in his third year, he done did pretty good, and we got everybody else coming back. So I hate it for the U in Florida.
Man, look here, man. Hey. all I'm gonna say is, y'all got one this year, and
Yeah.
hopefully it don't happen. Hopefully it don't happen this upcoming season, man. But it ain't looking too good based on what I'm saying, what we just picked up
Yeah.
as far as coaching wise, man. I don't know what
Yeah.
we got going on,
But that's why I said, but that 3
but I'm
years,
still gonna put my money on the U though. I'm still gonna put my money on the U.
you
I'm rocking with my
supposed to.
K's, man.
You supposed
You know what
to.
I'm saying? But all
That,
I'm
that
gonna do is say 52 to 10.
yeah.
They're the biggest.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Appreciate
Okay. But
that.
yeah,
You know, Kobe,
man.
man. It's been dope, man. It's really real good conversation, man. I enjoyed it.
Appreciate it. No problem. Appreciate you guys once again, man.
Yes, sir. It's been a pleasure, man. Anytime you want to hang out with us, just let us know, man. Let the people know, like if you're on social media and things like that. If you are, let them know where they can find you at.
All right, will do. You can check me out on Facebook. All you guys do is look for my name, De'cody Fagg, and the same thing on Instagram. I'm right there. Type in my name, it'll pop right up.
Took you muted.
Appreciate that. Anything you need us to promote in the future, anything you want to come back on and hang out with us, talk some ball, whatever it may be, having a camp, whatever it is, man, hit us up. We'll hold it down for you, man. Thanks for coming through.
Will do. No problem. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
One time for our sponsors and the great folks at takeavaycay.com. Be sure to visit takeavaycay.com. Use coupon code ROLLUP at checkout for 15% off of all Delta 8 THC products. The flavors of vape. Vapes are fire. I hooked CJ up. CJ got all the goods, man. But Shroud Nano, Bubblegum OG,
Man, that Bubblegum
Blue
OG,
Dream.
boy. My bad for
Hit, don't
running
it?
it. Yeah, it do. That's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. First, I was feeling the Shroud Nano and even the cherry pie is fire, but the fruity flavors get a little old. That Bubblegum OG and that Blue Dream probably my favorite two of the products. I'm also not a vape guy, but I'm definitely a vape guy now. Just been feeling the vibes of them vapes. They come in. They so convenient, bro. Like wherever you at, if you need that, just you know what I'm saying. You need some vibes.
Right.
You need some vibes, man. You can just do what you got to do, man. They got gummies in the flavors of kiwi, pomegranate, blue raspberry, and watermelon. If you're not into THC products and just want something natural, they have a sleepy gummy, which is derived of ashwagandha, melatonin, lemon balm, and a lot of other natural botanicals, man. Coupon code roll up at checkout for 15% off. All this is federally legal to your mailbox. Jump out, boys, the feds. Nobody gonna pull up on you. This is a part of the show where we get into some big three talk. Groove, what it do, man? Thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Man, I want to apologize to y'all, man, because I did not know I was on, and I know I was probably doing some crazy stuff in the background, man.
Yeah,
I
you.
want to apologize. I did not know I was on, bro. And sorry to the people out there watching. I was just trying to get myself together, and I just didn't want to, miss something. But I apologize for
No,
that
it's all love,
craziness
man.
in the background. But
All
I
good.
appreciate you guys hitting me up, though, man. You already know, man. Y'all my people. So anytime you need me, I'm here. But what's going on, brother? That was a good interview, man. Fag good people.
Oh yeah, man. Real
Yeah.
solid, man. Real solid.
Yeah, man. Larry had a mercy in the crunch. We thought about postponing the show, but we had a good guest, so I was just like, let me hit Groove up, see what he got going. I go on Twitter, Groove in a space talking about boxing and NBA. I'm like, I'm in a space waiting for a moment to talk, bro. I'm like, hey man, I just want to be sorry to ruin you guys' space, but I just need Groove. Groove, can you hop on with us? Thanks for pulling up, man. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do some big three talk. I got a laundry list of things going on, Florida Gator wise. We're gonna separate like we did last show. We'll do some camp talk first, and then we'll get into some recruiting conversation. But camp wise, the biggest news I would say is of course the scrimmage that happened last night. But last week Friday, Micah Mazuka sends out a tweet saying that he was entering. He said, "I think it's best for me to enter the transfer portal." Is the tweet he put out. Of course, all the social medias go crazy. It came out of left field for me. The coaches had been speaking highly of him and glowingly of him in just preseason or off-season workouts, and also his maturity around the team and being a leader. So for him to throw his name in the transfer portal, that came out of left field, which is still a red flag to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what you're going through as an upperclassman, you got to have a little bit more coof about you than putting out a tweet like that if you're not leaving. But the word is,
Emotional.
yeah, he's in his emotion. He had just got an injury. He got an injury. He's going to be out 4 to 6 months. So from what I'm hearing, some frustrations on the behalf of that. But I'm just going to keep it a bean. There's still a red flag there, man. For upperclassmen, that it's a character flaw. You know, nobody's perfect, but upperclassmen, you just want better leadership out of your guys, especially in the transfer portal. I thought the older guys we brought in, we're going to depend on those guys from a leadership standpoint. So I didn't like that. Do love that. Apparently, he's going to be staying. He's going to be out 4 to 6 months. So regardless of him not leaving, I'm hearing that we're still going to be after a offensive lineman in the transfer portal. Just from a depth perspective, Cam Waits is out during the spring with an injury. My man Damian George came over from Bama. He's been struggling. He's playing right now. He's actually starting on the offensive line, but he's been in and out of spring camp with some injuries as well. So just to solidify the line, I'm hearing that they're going to chase a offensive lineman in the portal, have some names. I'm not going to put out there just yet because it's not solidified, but I expect them to go get another lineman in the portal just to solidify the offensive line a little bit. That's the biggest thing I got transfer portal news-wise. Scrimmage was... I'm hearing the quarterback play is just average. There's no real separation in the battle between. It's not really a battle. They're trying to give the job to Graham Mertz. He's not really winning the job. So it's Jack Miller and Graham Mertz. If they're an outlier in the position, it's probably Max Brown. I'm hearing Max Brown throws the best ball. Neither one of the guys played terrible, but they're not playing to a level for us to like elevate the players around them play. I think. The receivers we have this year are better than the receivers and the weapons we have this year is better than what AR had, but we're lacking in the quarterback spot. Before we had this spring scrimmage, I've been saying it. Like, I want to see a quarterback brought in. That's the word in the rumors that they're going to bring a quarterback in this next portal. You just can't have competition just breeds the best out of people. And at your best position, you look around the country, Texas, you look at Georgia, you look at whether it's Ole Miss, with Lane Kiffin and his quarterbacks out there, is just competition all around the country. At Bama, they had competition at the quarterback position. Our competition at the quarterback position just not there. With a guy like AR leaving, we just need a better guy at the spot. So I expect them to go get a quarterback in the portal. We'll see who that is after these battles shake out. Receivers is everything's everything. The room is good. Andy Jean is going to be a starter. I expect him to start like week 1, Utah, out the gate. He's just one of them guys. What's up, Groove? Y'all came so close to getting him, man. Y'all was trying to play some games.
Oh, my God.
No, we the ones that really came close.
Y'all, Florida State had a shot at the end. He did take that visit.
Yeah.
I felt
Man, I
good for a
wanted
couple
that
reasons.
kid. I'm not
Drew
like them
nice.
other people that think that he wasn't a big loss. I think that kid is gonna kill it in college football, man. I think it's a huge loss for the University of Miami not getting him. I think he, like you said, I think he would have been a starter this year as well at the University of Miami. That kid, he just has something special. He reminds me of a blend of Jacquez Green and Chad Jackson. Far as just he got the compliments of both of those in his game. I think he has the catch ability of a Chad Jackson. 'Cause I think Chad was the leading receptions in Florida history, and I think he has the playmaking ability of a Jacquez Green.
Yeah.
He just has those two special qualities that I like about him, and I just hate we missed on that kid, man. Y'all got y'all one on that.
Yeah, Andy was he was I think personally, I think they said on this show he was a top 5 receiver for me personally. I think Brown was probably the most college ready right now. I think Andy was right behind him as far as what I've seen on that high school level, but how he's transitioning at Florida is no surprise. I was really high on Andy, and I wanted FSU to try to get in there late and close on because I feel like he was a guy. He wasn't as heralded as Hakeem, Brown, Ennis, and those guys, but I think ceiling wise, it's just as high as the 5 stars we see throughout the state of Florida last cycle.
But that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand. Some of those guys are not going to make that college transition as fast as others because you may be a sleeper kid. You know what I'm saying? You may not be the highly touted kid, but it's quicker for you to make that college transition.
Because all that stuff is
You
based
feel
on
what I'm saying?
potential in the first place. Like for
Exactly.
Hakeem Williams, he had, and I don't want to take no shots at straight or anything like that. Like just from a coaching standpoint, it just wasn't there. You know, as far as the ins and outs of being a receiver, you take Vandrevius Jacobs, who are the 4-star kid we got at this past cycle, he's been lighting the shit up. He's catching on pretty quickly, and that's not a knock on Hakeem. It's just
And just coming with how you prepare coming out of high school.
correct.
And it seems like they don't in
And
those rankings.
Gene was like a pro when it came to that type of stuff.
Exactly.
Gene has his mind, his demeanor and his mindset is mature than the average college kid, bro. Like you could pick it up real quick. We call him
And
a
way
young
one his
professional.
routes.
Yeah, way he run his route, the work ethic, when he speak to the media, whenever he's talking, the way he move on social media, it's just like it's a very mature mentality with him, and he's on a mission. Is the field. Aiden Mazzell made some noise in the scrimmage. And they got a highlight video of him scoring a touchdown, but that was what he was going versus the third team. He's running with the third team. That throw was from Max Brown, who's also a baseball player, playing a little baseball right now. Bro, I wouldn't be surprised if Max Brown, they don't bring nobody else in the port. I wouldn't be surprised if Max Brown win the job, just to be honest with you. I'm not hearing anything extravagant from the quarterback position. We'll see how it all shake out. Defensive line, offensive line, RI scrims. Defensive line is really strong. Justice Boone, a guy that we haven't been talking a whole lot about. He made a lot of noise in the scrimmage. Antoine Powell-Riley Jr., Princess Umanealing. All those guys we talk about the defensive tackle spot and the guys we brought in with Cam Jackson from Memphis and Caleb Banks from Louisville. But we got some edge rushers and also some guys that contribute that's already on campus. So great scrimmage from those guys. Jason Marshall Jr. is just lights out. It's clicking. Corey Raymond is getting through to him. It's just starting to come into his own a little bit. I thought last year Patrick Toney had a lot of say-so with how we play off ball, like a lot of the cushions and coverage. This year I expect to see Jason Marshall get a little bit more up close and personal with people. But I'm just hearing he's been lights out this entire spring. It's hard to get a catch on him, let alone, anything else like a touchdown. It's just hard to get open. Shamar James is coming to his own at linebacker. He played a lot as a freshman last year, but I'm hearing that he's starting to grasp the calls and everything. So it's not just see ball, get ball. He's starting to understand the defense and starting to make some calls whenever my man Taraji Mitchell, the transfer from Ohio State, if he's not out, they're saying Shamar James is filling in pretty well with trying to make those calls. Tight end spot. Keon Zipperer went down with an injury. Second injury within 4 months. He ended the season last year with the injury, started back camp, and he's right back out with another knee injury. The tight end room was one of the bright spots of the scrimmage. Was a guy that I forgot about in the tight end room, Tony Livingston, a guy that we signed but ended up gray shirt and didn't come initially right out the gate. He joined on campus this semester, and he's making some noise at the tight end position. And also freshman, or redshirt freshman should be this year, Arlis Bordenham, the guy from California, 4-star tight end. He's making some noise as well. They're more traditional body style, like they're 6'4", 6'5" guys. Keon Zipper is more of an H-back type of guy, so they're different type of tight ends, but we are getting some playmaking ability from the tight end position with Keon being out. Hopefully he's back and healthy around camp time, but that is a big blow just from being an older, mature guy in the room. Now you got a lot of young bucks at that spot. But I just got a lot of emphasis about just Brown throws having a lot more juice on them, and that's probably the main thing that Graham Mertz is lacking. Mentally, the checks, the offense, he's grasping that pretty fast, but not a lot of juice on that arm. Even in the warm-ups, some of the guys I talked to that was at the scrimmage, because they didn't get to see the whole scrimmage, but from what I was hearing, most of those throws were 15 yards in. When you get to see Jack Miller and Graham Mertz throw the ball, it wasn't anything deep. Napier spoke positively. He had a presser after the scrimmage, said both sides of the ball played well, neither side dominated. He concluded by saying that they're not game ready, but he liked what he saw, and we got some progress to make at pretty much every position, but it was a solid scrimmage. Those are pretty much my scrimmage notes. Don't have a whole lot. Position battles, the biggest position battle was in offensive line as far as competition. I think that's kind of solidified with Michael Mazuka being out. That opens up another spot as far as the backup, who wins that spot if he's not healthy. So we get to look at some of the younger guys. We had Roger Kearney, who came in from IMG. Also Najee Harris, I believe. I'm forgetting his name. I think Najee Harris, he also came in. Two guys that are working center and also offensive guard spot. Man, both of those guys look good, but you don't want to ever play a freshman in the trenches early. So we definitely got to get a guy out of the portal. Cornerback position, like I said, Jason Marshall got his side locked down. Devin Moore is still in the non-contact jersey, but he's looking like he's going to be the other guy on the other side. Corey Raymond spoke about Jakeem Jackson, just like Andy Jean, a very mature guy. I think he's going to come in. Well, Corey Raymond said he's going to come in and play early. They don't know if he's going to start, but they definitely going to count on him this fall. Wouldn't mind seeing him probably move down to the star or the slot position. Right now, they got Jaden Hill there. We'll see how that works out. But I wouldn't mind seeing Sharif Denson or somebody win that spot. That's all I got right now for scrimmage camp stuff, and I get into some recruiting stuff a little later in the show. What you got, C?
Yeah, I'll jump right into it. Got some transfer news as well. Derek McClendon entered the transfer portal yesterday. This has been some news that's kind of been brewing for a week. Well, not even a week, man. Pretty much shit since like January, February. Just to give you guys a backstory on Derek McClendon. He was a starter last year at defensive end, and to be honest with you, he was going to probably be a top 4. I'm not sure if he'd be a starter for sure this year, but he'd be a top 4 defensive end rotation. As you guys know, if you top 4 defensive end, you're getting some real good snaps, right? But so yeah, McClendon, he ended up in the portal, and it kind of started during January, February. I can't remember which month it was, but FSU put out a tweet with like Jordan Travis, Trey Benson, Johnny Wilson, Jared Verse about just promoting something, and then he tweeted out FSU only care about certain players, they don't care about other players. Ended up deleting the tweet. So that little frustration on his end from that point of view. Then you kind of fast forward to now. It was the players voted on a leadership council. Players, right? Y'all heard what I say, players, right? So the players voted on a leadership council. He wasn't voting on that leadership council, so he felt some type of way about that. Granted, the players, this shit is, the fellas did this, right? So he felt some type of way about, I guess, about his teammates not viewing him or whatever. But that's another thing I wanted to talk about too. Just because you've been somewhere the longest doesn't mean, you feel me? Don't mean you should automatically get this title or that title or get this accolade as far as being a leadership leader on a team. It doesn't work like that. Just because you've been somewhere the longest, those things aren't given to you. You got to earn those things. And I don't think he was a big time leader, but he had some type of leadership qualities, But just to be upset about not being voted onto the leadership committee and hit the transfer portal after that, that's a lack of leadership in my opinion. There was some other things as well, NIL money, kind of wanting this and wanting that, and not really understanding, in my opinion, self-worth in regards to just overplaying your hand, so to speak. But long story short, he ended up hitting the transfer portal. He did graduate from FSU, so he's able to move forward and pursue opportunity. As far as what FSU had to offer, I don't think I tweeted out the grad season always green on the other side, and I feel like this is a same case scenario because I feel like he's going to be getting starter reps at FSU, on a team that should be competing. I don't feel like he'll be getting the same on another team that's possibly competing. Now he go to a lower level P5, be the guy, G5. Even I don't think it'd go to that route. Well, where he could be a guy, but to be on a contender type of team and getting top 4 reps as far as defense end rotation is going to be tough to come by. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with him. But want to wish him good luck and appreciate what you did for FSU so far. Well,
yeah, that would have to be very short sighted. I was thinking maybe like maybe a playing time move this was highly based on a playing time.
Nah, he was going to play, man.
Yeah, that's crazy to base it off of a leadership council and NIL money, which is temporary because the real check is NFL, and you trying to get that check. So I don't like that's just a wild.
Say, Francis, you do FSU defense line is gonna be pretty good this year, so he have a lot of opportunities to get to the quarterback and have those one-on-one matchups to get paid. So I feel like this was the best situation for him as far as that route to leave this and kind of put your eggs in the basket and start over to at another place to where that shit is really not guaranteed at all. It's a big risk. It's a big risk in my opinion.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Especially given the fact that y'all are projected to be a pretty decent team this year. He could have actually helped his draft stock just by y'all having a good season. Y'all win another 10 games, he's going to get a look just because he's been in the rotation on the D line that was pretty good last year. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but you got to also look at who's advising these kids to make these decisions. Because if that's my little brother and he told me reason why he transferred because they put you on the leadership council, I would look at him like he a plum fool. Boy, if you don't chill out, like you know what I'm saying?
Coalition on that, bro. It's just
to play football, man, you got to that you ain't gonna be on the leadership council next year. The year after that, you're gonna be in the
Right.
league. So why does it matter? You know what I'm saying? So, but
Especially for your last year too.
exactly your last year. Now you got to go. You got to go prove yourself on another team. You got to go prove your worth,
On the
and there's no
team that,
guarantee.
and we're talking about, hell, you done missed the spring window. You can't. Spring practice is done, so you jumping
Yeah.
in summer and fall camp. You
And
playing with house money.
because you only get a chance to prove yourself in fall camp. Summer workouts is cool, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, but you don't put the fast on until August.
Correct.
So but hey, much I hope the kid land on his feet and go wherever. But maybe we try to pick him up. So
Y'all
I
about to
don't
say y'all
know,
need a pass rusher?
Hey, yeah.
man. We need.
I know y'all throwing bread around too, bro. So it make a little sense, right?
Yeah, it might
Hey,
add up.
man. Hey, man. Just saying, we can use him. Y'all took one from us.
Right,
Y'all
right,
got
right.
Jackson. Maybe we can get him, and he got have a little breakout year or something. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
from a logistical standpoint, that would make sense. Just for the fact that, like I said, I think opportunity to play is there, and you playing with house money with your last year and missing out on spring at that, trying to go somewhere trying to play. So whatever decision it is, it has to be one that a real big need as far as defensive end. So let's jump right into some camp notes. We got spring practice. We got some scrimmage notes as well from the weekend. Going to do a combination of both. This past Tuesday was a real physical and competitive practice. This one caught my attention a little bit. Jaheim Bell and Jared Verse, they kind of went at it, man. They when the pass came on, the boys kind of had a little showdown a little bit. Bell called them out. Warned that rep was talking a little shit after the fact. And you see the videos of Jared Verse online, man. Like he all for that talking stuff. So he started talking, going back and forth. So they had a healthy going back and forth with the defense end and tight end. Pretty chippy. I thought that was really good, especially for Bell, who admitted to that he's adjusting to the blocking that he has to do at FSU because he wasn't really asked to do that over at South Carolina. You want to block more here, and also just him having coach Chris Thompson, the tight ends coach, who's a former offensive line coach. Different schemes and different techniques he's teaching has been helping him out a lot. And he also admitted it's been a transition as far as going from a huddle offense to a no huddle offense that is based that run plays based on signals. So it's been an adjustment period for Bell as far as that. He's still making a lot of plays. I feel like once he understands the offense fully and get out that transition of from huddle to no huddle, looking at signals and things like that, he'll be able to play a lot faster the more familiar he gets with the offense. Defensive line, man. Like I said, the defensive line is really strong. There's been a different defensive lineman that's been balling pretty much every day in Jackson, especially from the defensive tackle perspective. I'm real happy with that because it was times last year during the season where we're short like 3 defensive tackles going into a game just from a depth perspective. And we're talking about a room that wasn't that strong as it is, and we're losing 3 defensive tackles to now you got maybe 6 or 7 real strong. You got Fabian Lovett and Fisk, the transfer. You got Daryl Jackson and Farmar, the 2 guys that played together at East Gaskin, pretty much the same school that De'cody Fagg went to, just transitioned over to East Gaskin. Those guys playing together. Daniel Lyons, the sophomore out of Miami, this guy's going to be really good. Redshirt freshman, excuse me. Out of Miami, I'm really high on him. He's going to be a good one. And Io to face another redshirt freshman. So we go from pretty much the defensive tackle room being the weakness to being one of the strengths. That's a pretty good job within the 1-year flip. Patrick Payton, man, this guy's been an animal. He had a really big scrimmage, putting on a lot of weight since this past season, running around 6'4", 6'5", 250 right now. He said that's been the big difference from last year to this year. It's just the way he's put on and to be able to hold up and run support. So I think Patrick Payton is going to be a monster defense end. Him and Jared Verse should be a formidable duo in regards to rushing the passer. Fentrell Cypress, a transfer out of Virginia, he's been coming along. Jerry and Jones and Ronaldo Green, those 3 corners have been playing some really good ball for FSU. Jerry and Jones specifically. He started playing really good ball the second half of the season. It's just carrying over to the spring. He's getting real comfortable and healthy, that is, because that was something he was battling earlier in his career at FSU, is health and a lot of confidence too. And he did say that Patrick Surtain, having him alone in that room, has been a big help just from the stuff he sees technique-wise. He's been a former NFL player, catches on the thing so quick. and this brings a different perspective that he hasn't had in the past. So Patrick Surtain, in a short period of time as a defensive back coach, has been paying dividends. Rodney Hill, the running back, Coach Mike spoke really highly of him. Had over 100 yards in the scrimmage. He's starting to come into his own, man. So the running back room is going to be really good. It's going to be interesting to see what the reps look like, especially for a guy like Rodney Hill. Rodney Hill that's coming along late. You got Trey Benson, of course, and then you got Lawrence Toy Philly, those guys. So it's going to be interesting to see, what the reps going to be for Rodney Hill, because I feel like he's going to be knocking for reps and carries, but at the same time, how many do we have? So we'll see. It's a good problem to have. We'll see how Coach Alex Atkins and Mike Norvell juggles that. But I'm telling you, Mike is really high on Rodney Hill, so look out for him to have a pretty big year. Brock Glenn, the freshman quarterback, he's been really impressive so far. Leadership qualities is the way he carry himself. Excuse me. He's not like a typical freshman. He had command of the offense this past Saturday, and Mike and Atkins say they threw a lot at him as far as not really helping him, put him live with the Wolves in the scrimmage type of setting. And they were pretty impressed how he adjusted, was able to make checks on the line of scrimmage, things like that. I think Brock Glenn's going to be a pretty good player, and he's also lighting the fire under AJ Duffy to step his game up, because like I said, that competition, man, it's going to either do two things: weed you out, or it's going to make you step up your game. And I think AJ Duffy is taking that message, and he's starting to step up as a result of Brock Glenn stepping up. Vandrevius Jacobs, I spoke about him earlier. Kid's been amazing, man. He's been making plays left and right. Don't like to put too much on freshmen and saying they won't play, but I think Dre will probably play some this year. At the very least, he'll do some special teams. But regardless if he plays this year or not, you guys don't really too much care about freshmen playing, that type of deal. Just moving forward, I think they did a good job in recruiting, finding Vandrevius Jacobs. I think we have a good one moving forward. And that's pretty much all I got. A couple more things. Jordan Travis didn't play in the scrimmage. They know what they have in him. Tate Rodemaker got the first team reps. This spring's been real light on Trav. Like I said, we just know what we have in Trav. But Tate's been the guy in the scrimmage. He had a pretty good scrimmage as well. Lucas Simmons, the true freshman offensive tackle from Clearwater Academy that enrolled early, he's going to be a draft pick, man. When this time comes, he's going to be a high draft pick. He's going to be a really good player once he gets his body developed and gets better coaching under Coach Atkins. He's going to be a player. He has the NFL frame right now. You can see why they fell in love with him and had him as a number one offensive tackle on their board. And last thing, Mike Norvell, he been getting his ass whooped lately as far as these races with these defensive tackles. It's something they started last year with Robert Cooper and blowing Coop out, but these are different type of animals, man. He ain't racing Coop no more, man. So it's been impressive to see these defensive linemen run and whoop up on Mike. Shout out to Fist, that guy's an athlete. He's a really good player that we got out of Western Michigan, defensive tackle. This shows the different type of caliber that they're bringing in, and those guys, they're pretty athletic up front. So shout out to Mike for getting his ass whooped all spring when it comes to that race and start practice. That's all I got. What's going down to Coral Gables?
Oh man, I don't really have a lot for you guys. Just kind of go some things that I've read. Heard some good things about a couple of freshmen, Ruben Bain, Cohen, the transfer from Alabama, offensive lineman, has been raving about going up against that kid, saying that Ruben Bain is going to be pretty much a good one.
Where's he lining up at?
towards the time.
He's lining up at defense
I
and the
think
defensive tackle.
I think he's been doing both, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's been working him in at both. Because to me personally, I think he's going to transition to a D tackle by the time when he becomes upperclassman. But they say he's all as advertised as far as just motor, just a great player. Of course, the 5-star Francis. A lot of people projecting him to be a starter. Say he's been killing it at practice. But me, I ain't really been too keen on that. My thing is how they picking up on the offense and the defense, because we just got two new new coordinators, some guys that I'm iffy on, that I'm in wait and see mode with. But the main thing I've taken from them is the guys see the players that seem to like them, and that's all that matters. I think players play better in the system and scheme that they like. From what I've heard about the defensive side with the new the DC, the defense is fun. It's aggressive. And a lot of the guys that was on our team prior to him being there are used to a more aggressive scheme with, Manny Diaz. He was attacking type guy. I think we kind of shied away from it last year with Steele. I think he was a little more, he didn't blitz a lot. But now it seems like they're back on attack mode, and a lot of guys are, happy about that. Um, Corey Flagg, I heard, has been stepping up. He's holding down that starting spot. A lot of people didn't expect him to do that because we brought in a lot of transfers at the linebacker position, but Corey Flagg seemed to be holding down his own. Like I've been telling people, the kid is smart. He's a ball player. He may not be the 4-4 linebacker, got all the measurables, but he knows where to be. He's a smart guy, and it's not always about your physical attributes at that linebacker position. It's about knowing where to be and when to be there, and making the right call and getting adjustments made, because that's pretty much your quarterback or your defense is the middle linebacker. Offensive wise, um, I've heard it's fun. I heard the offense is fun. As far as a lot of people are going to be excited to see it. I'm in wait and see mode. I heard the same thing about Gaddis, so I want to see it against some other people. Everybody looks good in practice, scrimmage against each other. Um, I just hopefully I just want us to be able to scheme guys open. And Kobe Young has been seem to be the receiver that's been standing out. He's transitioned. He's number 4 now. Um, haven't TVD is TVD. He's the starter. We know that. But I haven't really heard much else because I haven't really been paying attention to it as much as you guys probably have been paying attention to Florida State and Miami, but I mean Florida State and Florida. But I've heard some pretty good things. But like I said before, I'm just in wait to see mode because we had an all-star cast last year and it didn't pan out. So I'm not trying to get too high, but not to get too low. I'm just happy that the players are happy with the guys and they seem to be picking up on the schemes pretty well. So, and I think we're definitely gonna pick up another offensive lineman, and I think we probably pick up another DB and linebacker in the portal.
Yeah, what's y'all DB, y'all cornerback room look like? With I know Cormani was gonna be like penciled in starter if he was gonna to close out that commitment. What y'all look like DB wise?
We
Competition,
got
everything solidified.
no, I think nothing is solidified. Honestly, you got the Brown, you got a couple of transfers in, um, and we still got some guys that have to come in the summer, and I think Brown is doing pretty good. I'm not me personally. I'm not really. He did good at UCF, but he didn't really look as fluid in some of the drills.
Yeah,
I
let's
don't
look at
know.
the back pedal and stuff. It
Yeah,
looked like he was uncomfortable doing that type of stuff, which was kind of weird, especially for a defensive back on that, especially not necessarily. I'm not gonna say a defensive back on that level, but a veteran defensive back put
defensive
that
back.
way on that level. That looked kind of iffy to me.
I don't know if it was a new drill he never done before. I don't know if they're coaching him up to backpedal like that. So I don't want to kind of. It just looked odd to me, like you said. When I seen it, it's like okay, that don't look as fluent as I would like as far as in my DB. But I think we still got some good guys. We got Chris Graves. We got Scott. We got some good some young guys that are pretty good that I think is going to step up. Um, so safety wise, I'm not worried about the safety room. I think we're going to be really good at safety this year. So I'm not even really. We already know those two
Yeah, yeah,
spots is
yeah.
solidified.
For sure.
Cornerback
Y'all
wise,
got the best safeties in the conference.
yeah, I think Brown will end up being a starter just because he's one of those transfer guys. We need some vet guys at that spot, and I don't think he came here to sit the bench. So I'm looking at Brown to solidify that one of those corners, and I think Couch will be the other corner. Corey Couch will be a starter at the other corner. That's the guys I predict. But overall, I just think that I heard the guys are really enjoying the new defense and the offense.
You muted, bro.
Yeah.
Mute button beat my ass to show. I'm hearing good things as well with our defensive coordinator. It's just a lot of the same terminology, so it's not a lot of changes from just talking to a lot of writers that was at the scrimmage last night. Not a whole lot of terminology and scheme that's changed, but the biggest thing is just how the secondaries playing and Corey Raymond having full charge of that room. We're gonna segue and get into some recruiting talk. I want to ask you, man. I don't know if you've been following the recruitment. What's your quarterback board look like for Miami? I know you're the only program in the Big Three right now that don't have a quarterback. I know Aaron Nolan is y'all QB1 guy. Y'all got first on the board. When y'all think y'all close? Y'all think y'all close out on him?
He's been all signs are pointing that he's gonna come to Miami. He was just down there this past week, if I'm not mistaken. He has a commitment date of the 8th. So, kind of aligning the two, the dates and the visit, I would think, he would be the guy. I think he would commit. I would be surprised if he didn't commit to Miami, because he is QB1 on our board. And I think he would, as far as with the style that Dawson wants to run, I think it would be a perfect fit for the offense. And I think they kind of talking to him, doing a great job of expressing that to him, that he would be the guy to run the offense in the future. And me personally, I think after Jacory, he would be the guy if he came to Miami. I'm not sold on the Williams kid, that the freshman that we got right now. But I think he fits more of Dawson
Yeah,
offense.
I think Ohio State gonna turn it up for Aaron Nolan once my man Jaden Davis commits to Michigan. I think they're gonna turn it up on Aaron Nolan. I think right now I got him penciled in for Miami, but I think Ohio State gonna turn up the heat on a little bit. They haven't officially offered. I don't think yet. He just visited, but I don't think they officially offered. Um,
But with that, man, like you said, bro, it's gonna be one of those show and prove things on the field. We want he may commit, but if we get
right.
on and get in season time and the offense not looking too good, if Dawson doesn't have full range of the offense like we think he should have in the scheme, and the guys are not performing, I think it would be easy for a team like Ohio State to come in and swoop in and get them, because they get production at the quarterback position. It's gonna, and this is a dire time for Miami, far as putting a good product on the field, because that allure of having Coach
That shit just
Cristobal,
go die.
it's gonna die, and they're gonna want to see results. So
Yeah.
this is the season where it's show and prove. Okay, let these coordinators do what they need to do, and you step back and you be the CEO. And I think if he does that, I think we will see a lot of success this year, and I think Nolan will stick. If not, if the offense is stagnant, I think you say anybody can come in and swoop them up if they show in production. If especially got a track record like Ryan Day does.
Dope, dope. One time for the great folks at State Farm, Alan Horne Insurance. Be sure to visit AlanHorneInsurance.com or give them a call at 706-692-2888. Anything you need insured in Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama, my man Alan got you. Home, auto, life insurance. Like a good neighbor, my man Alan Horne is right there with State Farm Insurance. 692-298-2888. Man, let me get into some. I got a recruiting laundry list. I don't know if you got more, Groove. Anything you want to talk about recruiting wise?
Nah.
All good, bro. We'll pick it up next week when my man Larry Young get back. A lot of visits going down. DJ Lagway, I made a joke about it on some short form content. He got to have a private jet. He was on campus again last week. Jeremiah Smith, the Ohio State commit out of South Florida, 5-star guy. Both were on campus. That's a guy that we have number one on our board. He's number one on a lot of people's boards. He's probably the best receiver in the country. But just like that, Lagway is bought in every chance he can. He's in Gainesville helping us recruit. We also had Chance Robinson on campus, another wide receiver, this past week from St. Thomas Aquinas. Probably the number one guy on our board that's not committed anywhere, number one uncommitted guy that we actually have an opportunity at landing. My man Ben Hyperlip went down to Miami. He's a big relationship guy there, but Chance got on campus and he loved his introduction with Billy Gonzalez from what I heard. The visit went very well. Him and Jeremiah Smith shared some tweets. I know that don't mean a whole lot these days, but I think DJ Lagway got something going. I think we're going to land an elite class. I got a 7 or better this cycle. We'll see how it all shake up. I'm not going to go top 5 crazy, but just some of the names that I'm hearing, some of the momentum. Spring game should be a lot of juice. I think we're going to get at least 2 commits spring game. I'll just put that out there. That Thursday is going to make a whole lot of sense when people pop on that Thursday before they head to other places. But I like the way Billy Numbin moving. A lot of big noise. Georgia wide receiver who shut down his recruitment a while ago. He was in Gainesville this past week. Nice Scat Pat Carr, slot receiver, fast guy, top 250 prospect. Just good to have those type of targets on campus. The safeties room as well. I'm getting excited that Corey Raymond is getting his wheels going a little bit. We had Xavier Mincy, the safety out of Daytona, Florida. He visited Tuesday. A guy that I feel really good on. I think we lead in his recruitment. Nothing solid out there. He hasn't said that. Just a feeling from what I'm hearing. Things I'm hearing said, I think we're leading in his recruitment. Same as Xavier Filsami, 4-star, number 2 safety in the country. It depends on which recruiting service. Any recruiting service is going to have him top 5, but the one I like to use has him number 2. He visited a couple weeks ago. We offered him back in January. He's originally from Orlando, Florida. Right now, he's out of McKinney, Texas. He just tweeted his top 5 today. I think we're the top 2 in his recruitment as well. He's coming spring game. We'll see where we at with it. But I like where we stand in his recruitment. Another defensive back is Jamari Howard, cornerback out of Hialeah, Florida, currently committed to Michigan State. We said previously on this show, I don't think he sticks. I just like where we at in his recruitment. So all 3 of those guys I feel really good on. All you guys should probably go follow those guys, put your notifications on, just keep them on because some shit may go down at any given moment. Another guy that was on campus, don't feel as good on, but I like where we stand. You know, we're starting to make some headway. Jordan Seaton, offensive guard out of D.C. He's a top-tier guy. Probably going to end up at Georgia if I had to put it down. But he's a guy that we out there, got him on campus, hearing good things. He liked that we have 2 offensive linemen. He liked that how close everything is to the stadium. The dorms, the players' dorm is right across from the stadium. Everything's close-knit. There's a family environment. When I start hearing things like brotherhood and things like that and recruiting stories, I know the recruiting's working a little bit. So starting to hear a lot of that in his recruiting. I'd like to see where we at with him as things go forward. Ty Hilton is another guy out of Oviedo, Florida. We offered him roughly a month ago. A lot of the same lingo. He's scheduled to be back on campus for the spring game as well. 6'4", 272-pound junior. Right now, his offers are Florida State, Ole Miss, Pittsburgh, Rutgers, Georgia Tech. He's a 3-star recruit, but offensive line, I don't get caught up in the stars too much. I won't as highly heralded as the guys I could get, but offensive line is just such a developmental position, and Ty Hilton offers is what you want to look at a little bit there. Who else we got? A running back that I like, currently committed to Florida State, Mekhi Danzy, a 4-star athlete from Tallahassee. University school. So he's returning to the Swamp March 30th. We offer him in January. He said that Florida's a top 3 school in his recruitment right now. He said, I like the setup. Everything is in walking distance. Everybody like that walking distance. The campus has a nice field, and they are strong in track and field. I will run track on the next level. Florida is great in the 400 meters.
I was actually just about to talk about him.
Yeah, he's a
just
runner.
ran the fastest time in the state, bro. 46-1. 46-1-16, bro. And I mentioned, I kind of mentioned him, I'm interrupted, but I mentioned him like a couple weeks ago about his first track meet, ran like a 10-6
right
out the gate. Kid a runner, man. He liked that.
Wow.
A runner. Silky froze.
Mm-hmm. You good?
Yeah, he froze. We'll get him back in a second. Yeah, speaking of Mekhi Danzy, kid's a baller, man. He ran a 46-1-6 at that track meet and the 21-5-9 too. He's a sprinter. Ran for over 1,800 yards for Florida High last year on the state championship. They didn't win the state championship. They went to the state championship.
I like how he's talking though. He said when I look at my commitment, I just have to do what's best for me. It isn't about who I like growing up or anything like that. It's about who I feel will use me the best. So I like that type of conversation from, especially if you're from Tallahassee. I love track kids. That's where I'm at with it. I need speed, and the staff does prioritize speed. Another defensive back out of 2024 class that I like a lot. They're starting to fly up the rankings a little bit and cause some noise. Jameer Grimsley. He scheduled a trip back to Gainesville as well for the spring game. He'll also be here the 8th. Should be back-to-back weeks, so he should be here April 8th and then back again for the spring game. Some recent offers, because all his offers are fresh. He's starting to catch some he's starting to blow up a little bit here. So Alabama, Michigan, Tennessee, Auburn, Texas A&M, Penn State, Ole Miss, and Kentucky have all offered in like the last 2 months. 6'2", 6'3" cornerback. I have a take about, like, 'cause I hear there's a lot of talk about the Florida class being down this year. I think it's down from a polish standpoint, especially at like the defensive back and receiver position. That's where this state is really like where we make our bread at is wide receiver DB. I don't think the talent level's down. I think the polish player at the top, like a Cormani or like a Ricks, Desmond Ricks, those guys that were locked in 5 stars. A lot of projects guys that are raw in this state that are 6'2", 6'3". When I'm looking at these guys, I look at film, I cut on huddles. Bro, we're not lacking no talent at all. You're just not getting a for sure lock, a guy that could come in and start day one. I think at cornerback in Florida this cycle, but it's some killers.
There's some good players, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I got a question. I made a post early this week about Georgia football as far as high school programs compared to Florida, and a lot of people got on my case about it. And that was one of the points that you had kind of made for me about not those guys that just polished. But if you go to the state of Georgia, you
Oh,
have
for
a
sure.
lot of
Polish.
guys that are polished, and
Yeah.
that's what I meant. Not saying that Florida didn't. The state of Florida doesn't have talent. I just think the programs in Texas and Georgia
It's
get
by far
their
better.
they
By
get
far.
their guys
Their better is by far not
prepared.
even close.
Yeah.
Exactly. And people thinking it's all about, oh, look at the people we put in the NFL. Yeah, they get put in the NFL because of the next level, you know what I'm saying, development.
Yeah, talent wise, I mean, I think Florida's still the best talent wise. I think Georgia is close in second, but what Georgia really closes the gap is they have better coaches, they have better buy-in to the program. It's just better programs altogether. You see a lot of these coaches from Florida, they leave from Florida and go up to Georgia and
For
coach
sure.
because you get paid really good in those states because you look at the facilities, man. Valdosta, down
Landry,
there.
yeah,
Yeah, they just
Loudoun County.
100 Loudoun County 100-yard facility indoor just open for a high school team.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. The resources
Insane.
that they have is ridiculous, and we know
And
the talent is great in Georgia, but you combine that with the resources, it's not even. That's why the gap is so close right now.
yeah,
We took a commit this past week. It was also at the safety position. Josiah Davis, he's recruited, listed as an athlete, but we were recruiting him as a safety. He's a number 39 safety in the 2024 class. He had on his graphic Tennessee, North Carolina State, Kentucky, and Louisville, who was the other schools he was deciding between. It's just a guy that Corey Raymond's high on. I know some people and some fans were questioning his ranking, but he's another 6'2" guy. I wasn't crazy about him. Like I said, I'm a track dude, so I wasn't crazy about his 100-meter. But like, you look at his numbers and stats and athleticism, it's my athleticism. It's just a lot to be desired from the straight line speed when you look at the track numbers. He's a 11.2, 11.3 type of guy on the times that he have online. So I would like to see a faster 100-meter. But you talking about a guy that got like insane amount of touchdowns. He's scoring like 25 touchdowns in the season. He's doing like 10 kickoff returns. He looked good with the ball in his hands. He runs the alley very well at safety, and I think he's more of a strong safety than anything in run support. I think he's got the frame to maybe grow into an outside linebacker, but overall, this is just Corey Raymond's eye. Just like with Jakeem Jackson last year when he offered him, he was a 3-star that a lot of people wasn't out there until, it started cranking up around this time. And as you can see too, with our safety room and board, he's going to take some safeties that are 2 or 3 more safeties that'll rank way higher than Josiah. But this is a kid that he graded out high. And I already said it, this kid may not stick. We had Patterson that committed to us last year at receiver. And as we see, that receiver room got very elite, and then he found his way to UCF. So this may be that type of situation as well. But right now, this is a guy that Corey Raymond evaluated, and he just seen them just as good as the other guys on his safety board. What else I got recruiting wise? I know I got. I think that's it, man. Want to make sure I got everything. Oh, Jacob Gould is a guy from Georgia. Speaking of Georgia, a strong safety outside linebacker type. He don't line up a little bit everywhere on his film. You cut on the huddle. This is Jacob with a K, Jakobgude. He's from Fairburn, Georgia. Langston Hughes High School. Like I said, he's lined up a little bit everywhere. Safety, nickel, cornerback, linebacker. Ohio State was the last school to offer last month. Texas A&M, Auburn, Alabama, and Georgia offer. We just offered this past Thursday. He should be visiting this Thursday. But an absolute dog. Cut the film on, cut his huddle on. You'll see that he can flat out just play football. That's all I got right now recruiting wise. But spring football, spring game is gonna be lit. I got us getting at least 2, possibly 3 commits.
I got a question. So what what were you like? What are you looking for to see this spring out of your squad?
Bro, just that next step with everybody. I mean, I gotta get a quarterback for me to even take this season serious. Really, you know what I'm saying? To like, I think Billy needs to get to 8 wins. I believe their aim. I got another recruiting nugget too. Their aim, they got to get to 8 wins. That's my whole take. He got to a bowl game this past year. I think the aim is year 3 when you get Lagway on campus. I think he's gonna be a guy that's ready to play right away. And Lagway himself buys you time. I think everybody around the program, and I don't think the seat's hot at all, but it just gets loud if you don't win at least 8 games this year. And he got to find a way to win 8 games. And right now we don't have the quarterback. I don't think to get us to 8 wins unless our run game is very elite. I would say right now we have average quarterback play, and we just got to upgrade that. Spring, I want us to get. I want my freshmen. Billy gonna play a lot of young guys. And like I want like people around Gainesville know what's up, but you're gonna see young boys. A lot of Austin Barber is a left offensive tackle. Yeah, they're very high on. They think he's gonna be a Sunday guy that goes, first round, early second type of abilities. They think very highly of him. I just want to see my young boys just step up and be better. I don't want to see. I know what I can get out of Xavier Henderson at receiver. I know what I'm gonna get out of Jaquavius Frazier at receiver. Those are older guys, veteran guys that are big body receivers that really can't separate. So I want to see Aiden Mazzell. I want to see Andy Jean. I want to see Eugene Wilson when he gets on campus. I want to see those guys make that leap. But I want to see young boys playing. I don't want to see old veteran guys that's just gonna get me 6, 7 wins. I expect this year to take a step back, even though last year wasn't anything special. But I don't expect anything great this year. Year 3 is the year. So I just want to see my offensive line be the best unit, my defensive line dominate in the trenches. And I think we get back to our we've always been strong in the trenches during our glory days. And I think we start getting back to that. We have an SEC caliber defensive line, SEC caliber offensive line. So from that standpoint, that just solidifies we'll look like a competent product out there. Quarterback, Austin Simmons, out of Pahokee. He's a 2025 recruit right now. You heard it here first. There's some rumors out there, but I think he enrolls in August. Just gonna put that out there, just to float that a little bit.
He a 25 guy, not 24.
He's supposed to be a 24, right? He's originally 24.
He gonna reclassify. Okay, that's what you saying.
To 25 though. So he's really. It looks like he's jumping 2 classes up because he's a 25 recruit, but he's got the grades to graduate right now. He got all the academics to enroll at a university right now. He's originally a 2024 age-wise, but he failed or they set him back a year, right?
Oh, okay.
So he's really jumping 1 class, but he has the academics to go ahead and enroll early, and there's a lot of smoke about him, not just committing to the University of Florida, but possibly enrolling in August. What say you boys, man?
I mean, I don't know if I would have had a problem with it if it had been his true age.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you saying that he failed 1 year and then I don't really got a problem with that. It's just
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, if it had been
I
2
thought he
years
was
behind,
young. I was like, he's
that's too
still a bit
fast.
that's too fast. But like you
If he
said,
get
he's
in that
originally supposed
August
to be
and
24.
then most of them kids do January. If he could do August, that'd be a boost for him, to be honest with you, and sit to learn that year and then go into that spring, with a semester on your belt and compete.
So he may compete
he don't need
now.
that head. He may.
Yeah, you're right.
He may. Shit.
I was about to say,
He
based
gonna
off
need a
what
head. He gonna need a head start on DJ Lagway, like for sure. And he a 5'6" guy. The numbers are there. Just speaking to some people locally, they think he could use another year. I don't think he was gonna stay at Pahokee. I think he was gonna end up transferring to maybe IMG or to another school. But we'll see how it all play out. I just want to float that out there. Something I'm hearing that from solidified people, so close to the program. I wouldn't be surprised if Austin Simmons, 2025, a kid that got a lot of clout, a lot of energy as far as his recruitment for 25 class, that he may reclassify for 23. It would be because he would be enrolling in August. We'll see how it all plays out.
Okay.
That's all I got, man. I need DJ Lagway to keep pulling up. I need possibly still a recruit or two. I don't know where we at with Pride. That's why I was gonna say the safety room is we got a lot of options right now, and I want to see how it all plays out, but I don't know where we at with Jordan Pride.
It might get interesting there, bro, because
It be like that sometimes, man.
yeah, it be like that, bro. I
It
don't
be
know,
like
man.
that.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if how it's gonna work out with FSU as well. So we'll see how that play out.
I just want us to have a fluid offense this year. That's all I'm worried about.
I feel you on that, man. I definitely feel you. 'Cause last year offense was crazy.
It was
Man,
poo poo.
we
So
was
that's
betting
man, that's
around. We was betting around here if y'all would cross the 50.
Yeah,
Like,
it was that bad.
like
It was no
hey
seriously,
y'all.
it was
Hey,
that
yeah.
bad.
I'm gonna give y'all that. I don't have no rebuttals on that because I was like, it's like, what is this, bro? Like, what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But I think Dawson will give
You
us
got. I
a
mean, he
better
can't be worse.
scheme. He can't be worse
He
than what
can't be
we had.
worse. Nah, no
And
way.
I think his system works better with TVD.
Athletes. Yeah.
Yeah, and the athletes. So I'm looking for the offense to look better, but I'm not finna say, oh, they finna light it up because I don't know. I thought we
I
was gonna
think.
be decent
See,
with
y'all. My
guys.
my thing with Miami is like, aside from the offensive coordinator, you can't be asking this man to draw like wine from a water well, right? I think the skill position wise, this is probably the worst Miami skill position team I've ever seen.
Far as from a receiver standpoint or from a
Receiver,
running
I
back
think
running
from a
back,
receiver standpoint,
it's
I think
definitely
I
receiver
think
receiver.
standpoint.
Running back, I'm
I
not
think
even
running
gonna.
backs. I'm thinking running back position pretty good. I think we're pretty good at running back. I think we got a healthy Cheney this year. Hopefully he stays healthy. I think we got Fletcher. But that's one position that I would depend on the freshman is running back. Running back, I would defend. I would depend on the freshman to give me good playing time.
For sure.
And I like Paris too. I think Paris a good back. I think it hurts losing Rooster. Losing Rooster really hurt. You know what I'm saying? I think our backfield would have been a lot better if it would have kept Rooster.
But you got
Me
the young boy
personally,
from Louisiana too, as well, right?
oh yeah, we got. But he coming
Is
off
he?
a
Yeah,
serious knee injury
yeah. I
though.
was about to say, how's his? What's the word on that as far as rehab? Is he even? It's gonna be a
He's not
summer thing.
participating. He's not
Yeah, it's all a
participating.
summer
He's
What's my
not
thing.
man? What's my
participating.
man name again? Like
Citizen, right?
Trayvon Citizen or something like that.
there
Yeah,
Yeah,
goes.
Citizen.
citizen.
Yeah. So I mean, receivers. I think we just wait for that guy to take up and, like you said, is nobody. I think we got the talent. I just don't think we have the receiver coach and the scheme that best fit them. I
Gotcha.
think you're gonna see this year that we lost Romello, and Keyshawn, which were huge blows to the receiver room. But I think Young and we got Brashad Smith. We still got X. We still got Landon, Latson, Fred Latson. We still got some guys.
No, that ain't it.
That I
Yeah,
know
Yeah,
they
Franklin.
got. We got
I
we
told
got some
Larry
guys that
on,
got to
bro,
prove
because
themselves.
I told Larry on before he hit the portal. Well, when he hit the portal, and y'all was talking about people at Clemson, like he won. He just wasn't it. This wasn't the building they came out to be, and that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I think the receivers got to prove themselves. I think we got the talent. I think with Dawson, if Dawson used those guys right, I think we're gonna see one or two guys emerge to be like, okay, these guys are it. It's a lot of talk about Ray Ray. I want to see what he can do. He's been in a non-contact jersey for a little minute, but I think he's gonna be a good kid, man. I'm not. I wish we had Gene, but we gonna see. We gonna see what these guys do.
Yeah, no doubt. CJ, you got some recruiting?
Yeah, real quick, got a couple hits on recruiting. Not bad. It's a test. Couple hits on recruiting. Some guys that were on campus this past weekend and have some future visits scheduled for this upcoming weekend and week. Jordan Seaton, the number one interior lineman in the country, he was on campus. Has some high things to say about Coach Atkins and Coach Norvell. This was his first visit to FSU, so for him to get that relationship going and that type of deal, to say it was pretty big for him. He did say he expect to be back. But as far as his recruitment, he says it's pretty much wide open. He doesn't really have any leaders or anything like that. I know FSU, this is the first step of trying to get in position for that recruitment down the stretch. I think this would be one that carries into the season. So just keep an eye out on Jordan Seaton, kid from the DMV area. Makai Danzy, like Civil just saying, supposed to be on campus this upcoming week. 4-star out of Florida High running back. I like him a lot. Explosive kid. I mean, blazing track. So once I heard that 46.16, that shit made my jaw drop, man. That's a real ass time, man. So he's a playmaker. And I just watching this film, you can see it because a lot of his film that I seen is just breaking away. I went to a Florida High game this past season, and he was a baller. So I like Danzy a lot. Wardell Mack, a 4-star cornerback out of Louisiana. He'll be on campus this weekend. Coach Yak has a pretty good relationship there with his Louisiana ties, so it'll be interesting to see what FSU can do with that visit. And Ryan Mack, the 4-star safety at the same time as Aquinas, he was on campus this past weekend. Had a lot to say about FSU. They're in a good position with him. And that's what we talk about Jordan Pride. Like FSU, they're on a lot of safeties. They're on a lot of safeties. Some good guys. Jacobs out of Orlando. He's probably one of my favorite safeties out of this cycle. Really good kid. So it's going to be interesting to see how that safety room play out down the stretch as far as commitments and things like that. Last one I got, Elias Rudolph, 4-star defensive end from, I want to say Deerfield, if I'm not mistaken. He was on campus this past weekend. It was really good to get him on campus. We'll see how things shake out with that. I think Ohio State may be the current leader with him. And that's all I got from a recruiter standpoint, fellas.
Already. Anything national news y'all want to highlight? Spring game? Anything special? CJ, you got an announcement. You got a tailgate, right? You want to tell people what's up with your tailgate?
Oh, yeah, got the tailgate going for the spring game, man. Teaming up with James Coleman again. So April the 15th, man, you guys grab your tickets. We're going to get the link out. I have the link, actually. I should have shot it over to Taylor. We'll throw it in the comments later. You guys can grab your tailgate ticket from the comments in the live stream. It's $30, and I'm also in the process. And with that, you get free liquor, free food, all you can eat, that type of deal. You know how we do it. That. Oh yeah, cigars. Oh, we got a live DJ. We'll hang out pretty good, man. So let's start the 2023 season off with a bang. A lot of people hit me up about hotels and stuff like that. So yeah, go ahead and grab your tickets, and possibly that Friday, working on something right now, but possibly that Friday, we're going to be throwing an event as well. So you guys in town Friday, we're going to hang pretty good. I'll be announcing that once the details are finalized. But yeah, definitely grab your spring game tailgate ticket. We're going to get that the link out in the comments pretty shortly.
Grew, them boy hanging out like they about to win a natty this year. You see him?
Man, hey, you know what's funny? Sil? He acting just like we was acting last year in the year after we won 10 games.
Yeah.
Just watching their fans' interactions.
I get what you're saying, but I'm high on this season because we had a good season last year. We had holes, but we bring all them motherfuckers back. And they added, like Mike did a very good job in the portal of adding guys that can, like Jaheim Bell, a couple offensive linemen. He had some guys that can play. Like, so that's
them games got to be played though, big dog.
You know the rules.
The games got to be played.
You got to line up and get it, baby.
You got to line up and get it. But so LSU first game, that's going to be a marquee matchup.
Mm-hmm.
You already know we're going to have to talk offline. We're going to have to put a little wage on that.
Oh, yeah, we can talk, bro, for sure. We can definitely put a wage on that.
I got greenbacks on Brian Kelly and them Tigers, man.
We can talk, baby. We can talk, man.
Me too.
We had Brian Kelly as in the blender, man. But I think that's going to be a big-ass game, to be honest with you. I think that's going to be, like I said, the heavyweight title game. That could be a game I think LSU could be a team that could have some playoff implications, be that type of team. You know, they won the West last year in year one. And that was year one for Kelly, you know, so you get that shit going. That's what I'm saying. Kelly, he go have it humming in LSU, I believe. You got those type of athletes in the in Louisiana area with his coaching abilities, it's going to be second nature. It's going to be easy to get results. So it's going to be an interesting game one. They bring back a lot of talent, probably one of the best defensive players in the country. Even though we call him his first game of the year, it's going to be interesting to see what 40 does and how we scheme up against him because he's a player. So I'm really excited about that game for sure.
Already. We got Utah to kick it off out there in Utah. I'm definitely pulling up to Salt Lake City. I'm also pulling up to the spring game. I wasn't going to go, but I got to get this content. We trying to turn this shit up a little bit. CJ going to be out there in Tallahassee. We trying to turn out, my man Lion got some reels and a lot of things we trying to do social network-wise. We're dropping our website soon. We're going message board heavy. So we just trying to be out here and be on the scene a little bit. So I'm going to pull up at the spring game. I'm gonna be out there in Utah. I can fly back and still hit y'all game. So that's my expectations. Is to
It's in
hit
Orlando
Utah.
too.
Yeah, it's right there in Orlando. So I'm pulling right back up, man. Might as well. I think we up out of here, man. It's the roll up, it's the vibe. Hey, Groove, definitely appreciate you, man, for coming through in the clutch, man. Tell the people where they can find you at. Tell them about your platform as well.
Oh yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. That's why I'm most active on. Storm Groove is my Twitter. Also, me and my guy A Black, we have our YouTube show called Storm Warning. Follow us and subscribe, man. You know, we give y'all straight raw talk. You know, we don't claim to be insiders. We just talk Miami ball. You know what I'm
Already.
saying? So, you know, yeah. But those are the two main things. Storm Warning on YouTube, and follow me at Storm Groove, GROOV on Twitter.
Already. Hey, if you're listening to and all the live listeners, go follow us and subscribe on everything. Go to IG. We keep the IG stories going. We keep the reels going of just short form content. We moving and grooving on absolutely every app. Go follow us. Go like. Tell a friend and tell a friend. It's the vibes.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all boys for having me on, man. For real, it's always a pleasure.
Oh yeah,
Already. Thanks for
likewise,
hanging out,
dog.
man. Taylor
Yes,
Gang,
sir.
take us out of here, baby.